Jason Gregor Show.
And they asked him why, and he said, because I was feeling good. Well, that feels good. Look out. This may lead the park. Wow. Ohtani's second of the night, and the Dodgers are feeling great.
On Sports 1440.
Wow, there's a taken away by Rash. He reverses smartly to Bend. A one-touch pass. Here's a chance moving in. Kulikov scores!
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
The chance. Cooper is in. Cooper to the net. He's not bringing it. Score. He's done it again. Dylan Cooper. UT winner in Columbus.
Oh, baby. Welcome to the Wednesday edition of the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. As always, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, where use the promo code Gregor50, make a $50 deposit, and then they will match you and give you a free $50 play. It's like 2 for 1. So get it all the time at PlayAlberta.ca. It's nice. And it's not just limited to once a month anymore. So if you want to do it more, feel free. Just $50 every time. Way you go. Double your money. Good luck. Good now. If you were at PlayAlberta.ca today, you know what? Lots of time you're probably taking the under in these games. It's been pitching battles, except that LA game yesterday when there was 15 runs, but it's low-scoring games. Cleveland, Detroit continuing that trend. Cleveland had 2 hits until the 8th inning. They got 3 hits, including another home run, and now they're suddenly leading 3-1 and could become only the 3rd team out of 13 who lost the first game but managed to stretch it to 3 games. Since the MLB wildcard became a best of 3 in 2022, there's been 12 series. 10 of them have been sweeps. Only 2 teams managed to force a game 3 after losing game 1. So, maybe we shouldn't be surprised it's Cleveland based on how their season has gone. This is a team that after 90 games was 6 games under 500, and most people thought that they weren't even going to, at that point, no one even thought they were a playoff team. But that's why you play the games, boys and girls, because you never know. And, man, baseball playoffs is wild. The Jays could be taking on the Red Sox. Everybody thought it was going to be the Yanks, but Yanks lose game 1. So we'll see if they can recover. We got a loaded show for you today. Hour number 1, going to have a lot of hockey talk. Mike Rupp is going to join us. He's back for another season of NHL Chatter with us on Wednesdays. He's actually going to join us right away. We got Kevin Woodley, a special edition of Woodley. Why? Because Connor Ingram is now a member of the Oilers organization. Now, he'll start in Bakersfield, as he should. He hasn't even taken part in training camp. Okay, and I know some people think, oh, my God, he's going to be the starter in Edmonton right away. Well, let's pump the brakes. You know what? He had 2 good seasons in 23, 24, 77 games played. He was, I think at that point there was 48 goalies who played at least 50 starts in that time. And he had 74. He was 18th overall in save percentage. So decent numbers for 2 stretches. Now, before that and after that, he's been in the NHLPA assistance program. He had OCD is when he went in. He said it was undiagnosed, and so he wanted to go in for that. And he went back in March, came back out, and is feeling good. But he's just got to get to play and get hopefully everything in his personal life set away, and he's ready to rock and roll. And you know what? This was an acquisition by Stan Bowman. That's the only thing it cost the Oilers is actual cash, because the Mammoth are retaining $800,000 of his $1.95 million salary, so he's a $1.15 million player. And guess what? You can put a player at 1.15 in the minors, and they don't count against your cap. You just have to pay them the money. So obviously the organization felt, hey, we want to do it, and we'll see. I think in the case of Connor Ingram, probably got to give him a month minimum down in Bakersfield, see how he's doing, and then kind of go from there. So it'll be interesting to watch. Your Remchuk will be by. Cam Tate, 2-minute warning. Steve Gardner will join us. Of course, we'll talk about a busy day in baseball yesterday and again today. Spec will be by. Ian Furness, our good buddy from Seattle, will join us in the 5 o'clock hours. You set up a preseason game, Oilers and the Kraken. And, hey, folks, you better all tune into this game because it must be unbelievable because all the lineups are secretive. No one can tell you what the preseason lineup is. Pre-freaking season, and you can't get the lineup. What are we doing? What are we doing? Anyway, let's go in the room right away. Brought to you by Action Electrical. They are hiring second, third, and fourth year electricians. So your opportunity, get in a good company, stay with them, work your way up. It's fantastic. Apply today at careers@actionelectrical.com. So very simple. Okay. Check it out. As we welcome to the show, he will be our regular Wednesday contributor, Mike Rupp from the NHL Network, also on Daily Faceoff, the DFO Rundown as well. Rupper, how you doing, my man?
I'm good. I'm good, Greg. It's good to see you.
Yeah, you too, man. Are you a big baseball guy?
So I used to be. We were talking about this the other day. I used to be really dialed in with baseball. And I think the more I started doing this kind of covering hockey, like when I played hockey, I watched every other sport. I barely watched any hockey. And then when I retired and started doing this covering hockey, now it's pretty much just that. So yeah, I mean, I'm one of those maybe just jump on the bandwagon in the playoffs. But I've been paying attention since the playoffs have started. Yes.
Okay. Well, hey, you know what? I get it. 162 games is a big commitment, man. You got to be a real diehard to watch it all year long. Yeah. But playoffs in any sport, sign me up. I'll watch it all the time. And in baseball is unique because every pitch can make a big difference, right? That's what makes it fun, especially late in the game. You just got to hit a home run, and we just saw it in the last inning by Cleveland. Give me your thoughts. Some big contracts here to discuss. Let's start with the one today, Luke Hughes, and with the Devils, 9 sheets per year for him with New Jersey. What do you make of this deal?
So I think the first thing was, I think a lot of people wanted to kind of read the tea leaves on the contract length because people think, and probably still think, and I'm one of those people, that maybe this is tipping the hand of what the plans are for Quinn Hughes and maybe Jack down the road. So I think Devils fans they certainly want him long term. But you start to think, all right, maybe there's a possibility here that you can get all 3 of those guys. I don't know if that will ever happen, but I think that's first and foremost, long-term, great thing for the Devils, great thing maybe to keep the Hughes brothers or how many brothers in New Jersey. The other side of it, I mean, is it an overpayment right now? Yes, it is. But it's also a guy that you've located, you've said already, he is our pillar on the back end. We're going to pay him, he's the highest paid Hughes brother right now, which feels kind of funny, but he's a stud and he's going to continually get better. And I think as you start getting into this deal a little bit later, it's going to end up just like a lot of times we talk about. It's going to be a steal, I think, down the road. But right now, when you look at it, surface level 7 times 9, that's a big contract for Luke Hughes. Oh God,
I agree with you what you said. Like when you put it in that perspective, he's the highest paid Hughes brother. And you're just like, man, his 2 brothers have definitely achieved a lot more. And, you know, obviously the organization felt like this was a guy that they firmly believe in. When you look at Luke Hughes, and I'm not going to, compare him to anybody, but what do you think is like best case projection? Like, can he be as impactful as Quinn, or is that unrealistic?
I'm a big Luke fan. I don't see him being that Quinn is offensively. Now he's got we know he's the biggest as far as stature and how his size, as far as height and reach. He's got that. Now, I wouldn't say defensive play is a huge strength of his at this point, but he's certainly willing and capable of doing it. And he does do it. I don't think he shies away from it. I don't know. It depends what he's willing to dig in for here. If he commits to the defensive side of the game, I think there could be an argument down the road that he would be more valuable than Quinn. But I don't think he's going to be more valuable just straight up offensive. And that's really what he is right now. So if you're comparing the two right now, I don't think there's a comparison, and that's not really fair to do to the young Luke. It depends what getting in between his ears. Is he willing to be a two-way defenseman and lean into that a little bit more on the defensive side? I'd love to see that. If he could, man, he'd be an absolute stud down the road.
Yeah. Well, if he does that, that would be huge for the Devils. And I agree with you. This is definitely a contract that is an overpayment today, but this is one that in 2 or 3 years, they're going to say, hey, this guy is more than worth the money. And that's obviously what they're banking on.
Yeah, and here's the one thing, and I know we're always going to do it because I just did it. We're always going to compare other players, and we're going to use these comps. And the thing that you got to tell yourself, and even the players have to tell themselves, because there's players probably in other teams that are like, oh my gosh, I'm making this. I just signed this long-term extension as a defenseman for, player Y, and this guy's getting this, and I've done more. That's a slippery slope. It's the perfect storm right now. I mean, to have your contract up in the summer, whether you're RFA, whether you're a pending UFA, the upcoming season that we saw with Kirill Kaprizov, this is the biggest the cap has moved in quite some time. Like it's the perfect time. I mean, Jack Hughes might be the most valuable contract in the National Hockey League because when he signed his extension, which at the time a lot of people probably thought was a lot to give him, it was the cap wasn't raising. It wasn't jumping like it is now. And so, I mean, these are all kind of things you got to take with a grain of salt when you're looking at it. It's a little bit of apples and oranges, but man, he got paid well. And it's good to get this type of business done here for the Devils.
Mike Rupp joined us. Then you have Kirill the Thrill Kaprizov coming in with, of course, biggest contract, AAV, most dollars, $136 million. It's a huge deal. And, you crunch the numbers percentage-wise of everything. Obviously, he's going from a $9 million player to a $17 million player, and the cap didn't double, so his percentage is going up quite a bit. This is a contract that Minnesota needed to do, I would think, for their organization because he's obviously the best player. And if you don't have a highly skilled guy, Rupper, it's pretty hard to want to compete for the cup. Now, they got to fill out all the other pieces around him, and I think they've got some good ones here. But what do you make of this? Is this a case where he probably gets more because of how he's perceived in that market, right? And just how important he is. And they're like, well, we could let him go, but then we'll spend the next 2 decades trying to find a guy similar.
I think that's exactly what it is. And if there is a player in the modern day that can really push that 20% maximum percentage of the cap, it's probably him in this situation. I mean, Connor McDavid certainly could if he wanted to do that. But I think that when you talk about importance to your franchise, I don't think there's a more important player to his team's future than now. Everything you want to, because they don't have a Leon Draisaitl waiting there. They don't have, they're lacking some things as far as star power. I mean, they got a lot of really good players. I like the Minnesota Wild. So if there was a position here where you really had a lot of leverage, I thought it was this situation. Now, did he take advantage of that leverage? Yeah, but probably not to the fullest extent, to be honest. Like, I think, you probably could have. The Minnesota Wild had to get this done. They had to pay him pretty much whatever he wanted. And that's the part I know that a lot of people are doing the same thing. How is he making $3 million more than Leon Draisaitl? He's not the player of Leon Draisaitl. And I would agree with that. But with that being said, the cap over the years, and we always talk about the percentage of the cap. You go back to when like Ovi signed his deal. I think that was in like 2008, the 13-year deal or whatever it was. I think he was at like 16.8% of the cap or whatever it was. The salary cap has grown double since then, but you're still talking about Kirill's at like 16.1%. Connor McDavid's right around that range right now for the Edmonton Oilers. And when he signed his deal, it's not growing at a rate these guys are still in that 15-16% range, which I think the going rate, as nuts as it sounds, and $136 million or whatever, that's kind of the going rate for franchise players. And that's what the Minnesota Wild got here.
Mike Rupp joins us here on Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. It's a Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. We're 1 week away, Rupper, from the start of the season. And, the New Jersey Devils just signed Luke Hughes. You look at that Metro division, and you have Washington, you got Carolina. We think Carolina's, I'm not sure they're any real different. They moved a few pieces around, but, they'll probably be a very good team again. What about the Rangers? What about the Devils? What about New York in the trifecta in that area? What do you make of those 3 teams?
So I think that I think overall the East is pretty wide open, especially with probably the Barkov news, the unfortunate news with him going down. I don't know who's going to come out of the East. I think that there's a lot of teams who've got they're throwing their hat in the ring here, and I think the Devils and the Rangers are certainly two of those teams. I do think Carolina's going to be an interesting one because, Greg's, I'm going to say it now. I might be dead wrong, but I feel pretty good about it. I think the Carolina Hurricanes are going to win the President's Trophy, and I agree with everything you just said. I don't know if they got much better. They're a really good team. We've known that over the years. I just think the East is going to be pretty weak. And Carolina is a great regular season team with just banking wins. And the way they play, it's predictable every single night. But when you talk about that Metro division, who's ready to make a move? I think the Rangers are going to be much better. To what degree, I don't know. But I think Carolina is going to be number one in that Metro. And then the next two spots are probably going to be, for me, I think Washington takes a little bit of a step back this year. How much? I don't know. Are they passed by the Rangers? I think so. I think the Rangers Devils are finishing 2-3 somewhere in that division. I think the Caps are going to be battling for like a wild card spot. I think it's going to be a little different spot for them this year than it was last year. But again, there's plenty of opportunity for a lot of teams. What are the Islanders going to look like? I mean, are you going to get some movement here? But the Flyers, it's going to be interesting, but I don't think it's going to be a real strong division.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think there's a very good chance that one of those teams, ends up being only 3 teams in the playoffs. I'm intrigued the most by the Rangers. I do think, Mike Sullivan will come in and he'll add something to that group that I think they need. I think there'll be a little bit more attention to detail.
They have to be. And Sully's that's what he's going to bring. You're bang on there. The JT Miller, having him the full season, I think it's going to help them. They need a little more fierceness as far as leadership, and I think they got that in JT. So I expect them to be very good. I think Igor Shesterkin is going to bounce back. They'll be in the playoffs, I think, this year.
What'd you make of the Connor Ingram trade for the Oilers?
I like it. I mean, we always hear the cliches or the phrases from GMs that you're always trying to make your team better. We're always on the prowl looking for this. Is it the answer? I don't know. At the time being right now, does it add more depth? Is it intriguing? I heard you before I came on here. He's had some good runs. Like, I don't know what this looks like down the road, but you don't get to have that opportunity to bring a hot goalie along later in the season if you get in injury trouble or you just need a little bit of a spark, unless you have some foresight. So I like the move. I don't know what it means. I don't know if this is the end of the goaltending moves in Edmonton. We'll see how the season goes. But I thought it was a good one. I like the way they did it too. I like the way that you want him and you need him to go to the American Hockey League. He's got to get going there. And for all those circumstances that you mentioned, he hasn't been playing, hasn't had training camp. And by trading, you don't have to keep him on NHL roster. And because we know that last time when I spoke to you, he's on the waiver wire. And so it's a difference in how you obtain that player. So he's got to put the work in. He's got to see where his game's at. But I like this move for Edmonton. Again, I don't know if it's the last one in the goaltending department, but it's a good one.
Yeah, it's one that, to me, it's a very low-risk move that gives you an opportunity, because goaltending, Rupper, we could sit here and say, you know what, take out the 5 best goalies and then tell me who you think are going to be the next 5 best.
Yeah.
And we'd all have different answers, and most of us would all be wrong.
Yeah, no, it's true.
It's true. It gets hard.
It's about I'm a firm believer in, if you're one of those teams that has one of the top 5, one of the absolute elites, and you're going to pay them $10 million a year, everybody wants that. I don't think that that's the only way you can win. I think we've been proven that over the years. You need a hot goaltender. I seen in my career, you remember, I don't know, this is dating back a little while, probably like around 2008 time, maybe 2007, somewhere around there. But Marty Brodeur in New Jersey had his torn bicep. All right. And Scott Clemenson, who in New Jersey, we had backup goaltenders who didn't play many games because Marty was playing so many. So you just needed a pro, a guy that's going to take care of himself, be ready, be in shape, challenge players in practice. And that's what Scott Clemenson did. Scott Clemenson went on a run, and he wasn't necessarily a NHL goalie full-time, even as a backup. and he was hot. I want to say he went on some crazy run where he had maybe like 16-4 in the 20 games that we needed him to, and he was hot. You just need a hot goalie, and sometimes having capable goaltenders and having a stable of them is all you need. So maybe that's what the Edmonton Oilers have here.
Rupert, it's great having you back, buddy. We look forward to talking to you every Wednesday on the show. Have yourself a great day, and we'll actually have NHL hockey to talk about next Wednesday because there's some games on Tuesday, so it'll be fun.
I cannot wait. So great to be back, and we'll get this thing going here quickly.
Yeah, we'll talk to you Friday on the Rundown.
All right, perfect.
There you go. That's Mike Grupp from the NHL Network, also now my Friday co-host at the DFO Rundown. It is final. They're going to Game 3. The Guardians came back and won. So they've become only the third team out of 13 to force a Game 3 after losing Game 1. So Yankees fans, Cincy fans, Padres fans, dare to dream. You never know. You never know. So it makes it fun. Quick, we'll actually switch right over. That's a great thing about baseball now is we can go right to the San Diego game. It's unreal. Coming up, Kevin Woodley. We're going to go in depth on Connor Ingram. Is it hard to predict what he's going to be? Now, the first, because Connor Ingram has used the NHLPA assistance program twice in his career. Once when he's a member of Nashville, and then again this past March, and he was cleared from the program in August, wants to resume his career. Didn't take part in the Mammoth training camp. And so that's why, anybody suggesting he's going to come up right away, I think you got to be realistic about it. But what should we expect? What are his strengths? What are his weaknesses? Kevin Woodley will break it down next on the Jason Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade. Safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
You'll see us digging holes. No, we're not looking for buried treasure. You'll see us digging trenches as well. And no, we're not building a fort. We're GS Construction, and you'll see us in neighborhoods throughout the Edmonton area. So what are we doing? GS Construction provides rehabilitation and upgrade services to Edmonton and surrounding communities. Some of our underground utilities have served us for years and are past their useful lives. We replace them, so they're around for years to come. Find out more at gsconstruction.ca.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection? Incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need: Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Albertans celebrate a bounty of beautiful places to visit, boundless adventures to take, all in driving distance. And Sherwood Honda has the fuel-efficient vehicle that helps you go even further and appreciate more. Hybrid CRVs and Civics mean more thanks in your tanks, more great trips to be grateful for. And of course, Sherwood Honda is thankful for the chance to help you get there. It's a beautiful time of year, and it sure would be nice to hit the road with Sherwood Honda.
From the first face-off to follow with Sports 1440
is your home for hockey talk.
with live coverage,
Expert analysis and pre- and post-game shows.
we bring you
Closer to the game.
Tune in 24/7
Only on Sports 1440.
Edmonton Sports Station.
Experience more at the Edmonton Expo Center. Come for Canada's largest trade show, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. Stay for the experience, but it doesn't end there. Maximize your brand exposure with Edmonton Expo Center's new cutting-edge feature screens, spanning Western Canada's largest venue space. Captivate an annual audience of over 1 million visitors during iconic events like Pro Rodeo, Disney on Ice, Glow, K-Days, and so much more. To learn more, call 780-471-7380 or visit EdmontonExpoCenter.com today.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Northwest Crane, available for all your lifting and equipment needs, specializing in selling and servicing cranes. Get lifting at northwestcrane.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton's. The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk
And beyond.
This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Hope you're having a lovely day. Of course, baseball playoffs continue on, 4 games again today, and we know for sure we will have one tomorrow as Cleveland finds a way to win today, and there'll be a third and deciding game tomorrow between the Guardians and the Tigers. Obviously, start time will depend on if it's the only game of the day. There's 2, 3, maybe 4. There's obviously a chance. Could be all 4. Pretty slim chance, but still, there is a chance. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440 is where you can text us as we get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by Silent Rides Charter Company, one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies with state-of-the-art motor coaches that will safely take you or your group to your next destination. Whether it's for business, sporting events, fun, they do it all. SilentRide.ca. And we got a special edition today because, of course, the Oilers acquire a goaltender. So if we're going to break down a goalie, no one better to do than on Kevin Woodley from In Goal Magazine and NHL.com to discuss Connor Ingram, who was acquired earlier today by the Edmonton Oilers for future considerations. It's basically they just take him off. Obviously, the Mammoth, want to get him off their books a little bit. And I think this is one where the organization's given him an opportunity for a fresh start. And I can see why Ingram, he'll come to Edmonton. Everybody knows there's some questions. Some people are louder than others in regards to the goaltending of the Edmonton Oilers. But Ingram will start in Bakersfield. He hasn't had a training camp yet. So, I expect him to be down there probably at least a month to get some action. And then we'll see how it goes as Kevin joins us now. And Kevin, is it hard to know, because he's been in the NHLPA assistance program. He went in once with Nashville, and that was about his OC that he was undiagnosed at the time. And then he came back and played really well for the 2 years. And last season, down here, played 22 games and then went back in the program. I know you're connected to lots of people. What can you tell us about Ingram and why, I guess let's say about Ingram. What do you think?
Well, I mean, honestly, Jason, on the personal side, I can't tell you much. We know that there was a personal loss last year that affected him, obviously, as it would affect anyone mentally. He took the leave away from the team, was in the program. Beyond that, I just don't know, right? At the end of the day, I can tell you this. When he's right from that side of things, when everything is sort of in a good place from that side of things, he's an exceptional goaltender. Where he's at right now in terms of that, what last year, where it left him, how much he got on the ice, where his game is at, there's a lot of uncertainty there. I know he was skating in Saskatchewan. That's where he makes his off-season home. And I know he was skating there right up until, I believe this deal came to fruition. So, And I think that's part of this, right? Like you have to, and I'm assuming the Oilers did this at least in terms of him wanting to be there and wanting this move, because you have to put him in a spot where everything else sort of makes sense to him. And, even from the outside, I've had this asked and wondered about and sort of hinted at by people who are somewhat close to it last year, like that as much as the personal side was a big part of his numbers kind of falling off a cliff last year before he took the leave in Utah, some that believe the move was too, like as comfortable and as settled as he was in Arizona, that was a tough move, maybe tougher for him than it might be for some other people. And that's, that was sort of one of the few guys that, you look at, everybody was happy with everything that was going on in Arizona. Everybody was happy to go to Utah, right? But changing the personal situation, your living situation, all the things that you've gotten comfortable with, is there a bigger effect there? I can't speak to that. I know other people have hinted at it. What I can tell you, so actually, and I do think, to pause there, you have to take that into consideration in terms of what you're asking him to do right now, which is go to Bakersfield, which is not Arizona, which is not Edmonton, which is like, it's not high on a lot of guys' lists of places they want to go in the American Hockey League. So, the organization being cognizant of that and making sure he's in a comfortable position there is important. And I'm sure they've considered that. Then beyond that, and the second part of the American Hockey League, like, I guess at the end of the day, I'll rewind this. I wish this had happened a couple of weeks ago. I would have loved to have seen him get this opportunity right out of the gate in Edmonton and a chance to get settled and take care of all those things and get into NHL preseason games. Obviously, it can't happen now. And my understanding is that Utah was looking for a bigger, like forget eating salary. They were hoping to get a return at some point. And so as that price is backed off and their willingness to retain salary, this became a viable option for the Oilers. But in terms of starting points, I don't think Bakersfield's ideal based on some of those things I just outlined. It'll be on the organization to make sure there's a comfort level there. The other reason I don't think Bakersfield's ideal, and again, so something they have to be very aware of, I don't know that you're going to see his best in the American Hockey League. And that's just, we've talked about the different styles of games. This guy at his best has had higher levels of success than anybody else in the organization at the NHL level. His highs have been higher than even Skinner's best year. Not by a ton, but they have been. It's a lot of read-based, like a lot of his strengths are in an ability to process and read the game. And it's harder to do that in the American Hockey League because it's a game of mistakes, especially early in the season when you've got a lot of roster turnover and a lot of systems that are unsettled. So if it doesn't go well statistically down there, don't panic early on. It's easy. I'm sure the organization's aware of that. But from fans that are watching, like if the numbers don't look great a month into the season, don't be like, oh, Connor Ingram's a bust for the Edmonton Oilers, because I'm not sure it's an ideal environment in a lot of ways. So let's flip the switch. Let's talk about the NHL, because from the 2 seasons he spent in Arizona, and I was somebody who was on the record in Arizona media as saying he was a guy, because that year they had no backup goaltender. They were really unsettled. I liked the underlying numbers I had access to from a brief stint with the Nashville Predators, including a game, I think, in Edmonton where he gave up 4, but actually was outstanding when you watched the game and when you looked at the numbers after. There was a goalie there in the underlying numbers, and I remember being a part of a piece in Arizona saying this is a guy they should target. And for the following 2 seasons, Jason, he gave them exceptional goaltending. Took him about a half a year to get comfortable in Arizona. And a large part of that is he wasn't playing as much, and that was new to him. He'd played a lot in the American Hockey League up to that point, and he had to work with Corey Schwab. He talked to me about this to sort of adjust his mindset and the way he approached certain things in the backup role to get comfortable. Once he felt comfortable there, which was about halfway through that 23-24 season, from January 1st, 23 to the end of the 23-24 season, despite a little bit of a slide at the end of that year that might be related to the team falling off and being out of the playoffs. We see that with a lot of guys. Joey Decord in Seattle, each of the past 2 seasons, numbers have fallen off in the past couple of months. But for a year and a half, his adjusted numbers were top 10 in the National Hockey League. They were 9th, his adjusted save percentage, from January 1st, 2023 to the end of the 23-24 season. That's not a tiny sample. It's not huge, but it's not tiny. So if you're willing to discount last year as being a function of environment, and I don't mean defensive environment. I mean just everything going on in his world around him.
Okay.
And look at that year and a half, even over the 2 seasons when you account for the slow start after getting claimed by Arizona, which is kind of a similar situation to this, right? New team at the end of training camp. The numbers are better than Stuart Skinner has produced in his best seasons. And so the upside is there. It's not significant, though. We're not talking about this is not Vezina candidacy stuff. But even including his bad stretches in those 2 years, they're still better overall than what the Oilers have gotten. And in his hottest stretch, that ceiling has been higher than what the Oilers have right now. Whether they get that guy, I can't tell you. But that goalie is in there. So if they can sort of get him comfortable, then that's pretty encouraging upside, especially when you consider the acquisition cost.
Kevin Woodley joined us. So I know you talked a lot about, goalies, certain styles that they play fit with better teams, right? Well, not better teams, but fit better with certain teams, depending on it, right? Like if you have a goalie who's great off the rush and you give a lot of good rush chances, well, that's good. If you have a goalie who's terrible off the rush and you give up a lot of rush chances, it's not going to be a good fit. When you look at him stylistically and what the numbers show you, is he a good fit for Edmonton?
Oh, that's a really good question. I didn't get that far into the weeds on everything. The one thing that's been a bugaboo for him statistically has been east-west. So slot line plays across the middle of the ice. Like everything else across all his seasons in the NHL are like way above expected. So there's not a team in the NHL that he doesn't check the boxes for on those regard, in that regard. A little bit on the clear-sided shots from the outside, just slightly below expected. So, those are not great goals, but not horrific, just a hair below expected. It's the east-west plays that have really hurt him statistically, which tells you how good everything else has been, like broken plays, rebounds, breakaways, deflections, slot area shots, screens, one-timers, all really good. But slot line plays across the middle of the ice, and that's something that I think the Oilers have done a better job in the past few years. We've talked about how good they are defensively. I'm not giving those up as often, but something to keep an eye on if they were to get back to, being closer to the bottom half of the league in that regard, because it does jump off the page as one significant statistical weakness. Now, interestingly enough, I don't think he plays a very aggressive style. Like he plays a little more conservative depth. So
okay.
that may be a function of that being exposed a little bit, right? Like even though a conservative depth will allow you to get across on those slot line plays, maybe he's not getting there positionally in a spot where he's taking up as much in that. Or maybe he's getting caught at times too aggressive. I'd have to really go through all the film work to match that to the numbers. But that's one where, like if that's just the one thing, it's an area where a lot of guys get beat. And it's like I said, it's not one of 3 or 4 things. It's kind of the only thing that is underwater for him over those 3 seasons in the NHL.
I do want to ask you this one, Kev, because like what you said earlier, a lot of people tell me sometimes playing in the American League at certain positions is harder because guys aren't in position as often. So I'm guessing maybe for a goalie, that's the case. So are there numbers, are there things you look at to say, okay, this is a guy I see in the American League, and I think these numbers will translate to being maybe not like as dominant, right? We see a lot of guys who are 929, 930 in the American League, and they're not that in the NHL, but they're solid goalies. Are there certain things and parameters you need to see at the American League to make you believe that it can become, a regular occurrence in the NHL?
Yeah, honestly, not going to blow smoke, Jason. I don't like to talk about things where I don't have an answer. I don't have the numbers that I'd like to see. Like Clear Sight doesn't operate in the American Hockey League, and that's sort of a gap that prohibits me from sort of viewing these guys in the same light I'm able to view them in the NHL. For me, with Ingram, it was what he did in small samples in the NHL where I did have those numbers. In the American League, without those numbers, it's really hard to tell. And the ultimate example, and we'll ultimately see where this comes out, would be Archer Shilovs with Vancouver and what he did in the Calder Cup to get them a Calder Cup championship last season. When you talk to a lot of goalie people and a lot of even head coaches from other teams that they played, like as much as people were in Vancouver were clamoring for him to stay because he won a title, and I'm not discounting that. When you talk to the people that were trying to beat that team, they talked about how little offense they were able to create against them. So really hard to measure how much of that was his performance. And he was the MVP, but how much of it was his performance versus how little quality they gave up. And so without that context, it is hard. That's where I normally lean on the guys that are coaching them. Honest conversations, off the record about strengths and weaknesses and where they see the upside. But it's less me having access to numbers that point in that direction. For me with Ingram, it was talking to some people around him about some of the circumstances early in his career, knowing some people from his WHL career in Kamloops where he was exceptional, and then sort of mainly having the numbers from a small sample in the NHL that indicated, even or on top of good American Hockey League numbers, those stood out as indicators that he could hang at the top level in top level of hockey.
One last one for you, Kev, because Edmonton's playing Seattle tonight, and they still have Decor, they got Grubauer, and they got Matt Murray. And there's been all sorts of, wondering what are they going to do there. Grubauer, I know you've talked about it. You think he's due for a bounce, but do you think they carry 3 goalies in Seattle, or do you think or they send Murray down?
I don't know, but it sure sounds like they're considering it, right? Like they're. And we talked about this on Monday because I had them as a tandem that, potential to be a lot better than the numbers said they were last year because of Grubauer's second half bounce back. And if that continues, and yet everything you hear out of there is open like it almost feels like they're hesitant to give him the backup job. And so maybe that's, bitten once, twice shy, whatever it is, that the way it went last year has them nervous. They want to make sure he's got somebody pushing him. But keeping 3, I will say this. I've thought about this a lot in the last week and talked to a handful of people about it. How you manage your 2, and maybe keeping 3 is going to be one of the options for several teams, but how you manage your 2 is going to be so important this year, like so important because of this condensed schedule. Connor Hellebuck talked about, I can play 70 games and the fact that there shouldn't be this, everybody needs to have 2 and split workloads, that he thinks that's largely because teams don't manage their practice schedules well. So with the condensed schedule, with the Olympics, and the fact that it's not just a trip to Montreal and Boston for a week, it's overseas for 3, or at least a couple. I think it's going to be really important to manage practice time. And without the practice goalies and the e-bugs mandated until next season, maybe keeping 3 is a way to sort of handle that. So I don't have the answer in Seattle. It sure seems like they're hesitant just to say this is Philip Grubauer's job. Certainly aren't willing to do it based on what happened last season. Otherwise, we wouldn't have all these conversations about Matt Murray and about keeping him and about giving him every opportunity to win that job, which they very much seem to be doing right now.
Interesting. Kev, great stuff, man. As always, we appreciate it. Thanks for joining us on short notice. We appreciate it. And we will chat with you on Monday as we will be on the eve of the NHL season.
Yeah, I look forward to it, Jason. Thanks for having me. And like I say, above all else, I just hope this really works out well for Connor Ingram, the person. Because having had a chance to dig into sort of his background and talk to him a little bit about his path on the In Goal Radio podcast in the past, like really, really great guy, easy to like. I hope you guys get to see him up there in Edmonton and get to know him in the media soon, because he is, he's a guy that it's easy to root for.
Awesome. Thanks, Kev. Have a great day. That is Kevin Woodley from In Goal Magazine and NHL.com. Anytime we're talking goal, it's always good to get Woodley on, get a sense of it. And I think it's really important because we have a lot of texts coming in at 833-401-1440. People talk, hey, when's Ingram coming? Like, well, I don't know the answer to that. You got to remember, he hasn't even had training camp. He is, got to get in the right headspace, be in a good position, and then obviously you can play well. It doesn't matter what job you have. If you feel better, you have a better chance of performing better. It's just that simple. So hopefully he gets to that. I think this is an acquisition by Stan Bowman, who we're going to hear from next, by the way, that just gives them some organizational depth, didn't cost them any assets. What it cost them is paying the salary, NHL salary of $1.15 million in the minors. That's what it cost them. So obviously owner feels, hey, it's worth it to pay a guy $1 million in the minors to give us some added depth, and we'll see if it works out. And maybe he plays in Edmonton, maybe he doesn't. I can't say for certain. We'll see. He's got potential, right? He's shown he can be an NHL goalie. Can he get back to being an NHL goalie? That's going to be the question. We'll return on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Stan Bowman is next on Sports 1440, sports1440.ca.
Ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
CWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at ewell.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Looking for an all-season vehicle with room for the hockey gear, comfort for the daily commute, and rugged capability for your weekend adventures? That's the all-new 2025 Jeep Compass, and you'll find it during the biggest sale of the year this month at St. Albert Dodge. Now, what can I say? It's a Jeep, it's a 4x4, and it's loaded with standard features like an 8.4-inch touch screen, keyless entry, and heated front seats, all starting from just $34,900. Head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Mr. Rooter meets a ghost.
1 plunge, 2, and 3. A toilet clogged with a ghost? Man, I love plumbing. You're free now.
I will never find peace. The clog is fixed, yes, but I have never trusted the sump pump.
No problemo. I can fix that. Now go to the light, you little scamp.
Thank you, Mr. Rooter.
To resolve your unfinished plumbing business, trust one plumber, Mr. Rooter.
Sure, your couch is comfortable, but watching the game is always better and on the rocks. With crystal clear TVs, you won't miss a single play, and the specials are a major league win. Pre-game warm-up starts with specials 30 minutes before the puck drops. Get 69-cent wings and $5.75 Molson Canadian and Coors Light drafts, and play score and win every game for your chance to win big. Be part of the action this hockey season. See the menu online at ontherocksyeg.com.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310-GLASS or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
I'm tired of waking up tired.
Waking up tired.
Are you tired of waking up tired? Come visit our sleep experts at the Brick Mattress Store. Get Canada's guaranteed lowest prices on all things sleep. Plus, try your new mattress for 6 months. If you don't love it, we'll find one you do. Some conditions apply. Stop waking up tired. Get the right mattress, guaranteed. Only at the Brick Mattress Store.
As members of the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops, Alberta's rural natural gas utilities are here to fuel your life affordably, reliably, and safely. Across the province, natural gas keeps Albertans warm and connected every day. It's local, dependable, and it's ours. For more information on the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops and its members, or to learn more about how natural gas fuels your community, please visit us at fedgas.com. That's fedgas.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor, the best place for wine, cocktails, and beers from all over the world. Also, a variety of excellent non-alcoholic options. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$2.49. Welcome back. Oh, geez. Are we going to go back to back with teams who, in the first 3 years it happened, only 2 teams who lost game 1 were able to extend it to 3 games? And could have 2 today. We already had Cleveland come back and win, and now the Padres are leading the Cubbies 3-0 in the latter part of that game. So now still obviously lots of at-bats left, but something to watch for sure. Now, let's get to the oil report brought to you by Go Auto, where you can shop over 15,000 vehicles at goauto.ca, who have been proudly partnered with Connor McDavid since 2016. See all your rides at goauto.ca. The Edmonton Oilers, Stan Bowman, just talked about the acquisition today of Connor Ingram, and what does he see as the plan for his newest goalie?
Plan for him is to go to Bakersfield. He's not been in training camp right now, so we need to get him going, get him, up to speed. And so I just spoke to him a few minutes ago, and he's excited for a new opportunity, for a fresh start. And so the plan is for him to go to Bakersfield. The way we look at it is this is a great depth option for us. And I think whether it's injuries or whether it's, the play of our team, it's nice to know that we have someone in our organization that's have some recent success in the NHL. We have Matt Tompkins as well. So I think goalie's that one position where when you need it, it's really difficult sometimes to find it because if a guy gets hurt, you're sort of at the whim of who's available, and oftentimes there's nobody available. So we want to get him back going, and when he's at his best, that's how I like to measure players, is when he's playing well and he's on top of his game, we know he can be a really good goaltender. So we got to help him get back to that point. I know he's excited for a fresh start. So he's going to be in Bakersfield, and then we'll just kind of take it from there. There's no set program for when he could be there for the whole season. We don't know. So the plan is not to just get him up to speed and then bring him to Edmonton. We want to, have it as a good depth opportunity for us. And, the play of our goalies and the play of our team, as well as his play, will dictate where it goes.
Is he set now on the goalies with this addition, or is he still looking?
Well, I mean, goalies are no different than anyone else. If there's a way to upgrade your team and have a surefire improvement on your roster, we'd have to look at that. But the reality of it is those situations are very rare, not just for goalies, but for, established players that are going to come in and clearly be better than who you have. That's not that common for it to happen. So I would say if that situation presented itself, 2 months from now, or I wouldn't rule it out, but I think we're in a much better position today than we were yesterday relative to our goaltending depth. Connor's still a young guy. Like, he's got the road ahead of him. Is the last year of his contract, so he's eager to prove that he can be that guy and be part of an NHL tandem. So I think we're going to get to know him and help him get his game to the best it can be, and then we'll see where it goes.
Which makes sense. You can't just say, "Oh, we got Connor Ingram, so now we're done. We're not going to look at any other goalie," of course, because you never know. As a GM, part of your job is to always try to find out who's available on other teams. And the thing is, somebody might not be available today on October 1st. They might not be available on November 1st or December 1st, January 1st, February 1st. All of a sudden, March 1st, they're available. Changes all the time. So I think the Oilers, this is a move that just gives them a little bit more depth and likely means both of the. Now, I'll be interested. Is Matt Tompkins going to split it with him? Do they want one of their younger goalies getting some time in the American League this year? Both the goalies, because now you got 7 goalies in the organization, so that's a little bit of a challenge. Now, Unger is getting close. He hasn't had training camp or anything, so he'll need some time, right? Probably start in the ECHL. But with 7 goalies, somebody's going to have 3 goalies at some point. So, and ideally, it's not going to be in Edmonton. The 3 goalie situation is never great, I think, for anyone, unless one of the goalies is just an extra goalie for practice, which is, I think, comes in next season, if I'm not mistaken, right? The, call him the E-Bug goalie, but that's essentially what it is. Was asked about his thoughts on, does the Dustin Wolf contract, and then you look at Anthony Stolar's contract, how does that work on deal for Skinner?
There's a lot of factors in those deals that, everything is relevant to a degree, but also there are differences. So when you get down to it, you get into the negotiations with an agent, then those factors are all at play. But I wouldn't say it's like a 1-for-1 comparison.
No, not at all. Everything is different. Is he at the point now where a week away, is he expecting to start the season without a Connor McDavid extension?
No, I don't have expectations either way on that. I think we're continuing to talk to Judd regularly. I talk to him almost every day, and had good chats with Connor all along the way too. So I guess I don't like to make predictions. We'll see where it goes.
At this point, like honestly, I'm sure I'm like many of you, and I talk to people that are close to the situation. Obviously, I don't work for the team, and nobody really knows. Stan's been, I think, pretty open about the fact that he's having conversations with just Judd Moldover on a regular basis. But like the agent can't force the hand. This is all Connor McDavid. He's steering this boat. Make no mistake. I know his agent has a role, of course, but I would say he's more of a Robin and McDavid's Batman in this situation. Part of it, yes, just not the main lead is all it is. And when is McDavid going to change his, or not change his mind, make up his mind? I don't know. I kind of feel that if he doesn't get it done before next Wednesday, I don't think it happens then after that until like January. I think he's kind of like, well, whatever. So it doesn't seem to impact him that much. Obviously, and people always ask, well, what could the Oilers do? Well, the Oilers, you can't really do much. His teammates could do something. You get off to a good start. It's probably just like, hey, man, it just increases, I think, the odds that the player doesn't want to leave. And I don't think that there needs to be a lot of convincing on that internally from his teammates. I think he really wants to win with them. There's no question. And we'll see how it plays out. I do understand that if all of a sudden we're in November and then December, now it's January, other fans will get a little bit nervous. And I can understand that. I totally get it. And what makes it frustrating, I would think, for fans is that you have absolutely zero control over it. Nothing you can do, nothing you can say, nothing you can write, nothing you can list off, nothing you could post on one of their socials. Oh my God, we love you. Please stay. Nothing you do will impact his decision. It's all going to come on his own. And that's what makes it tough. Bowman did kind of go into just like the ongoing negotiations between him and McDavid's camp.
Very positive conversations. All of them have been. So, I don't really I can't add perspective from like what's on their side. I can just say, we're ready and excited to have Connor here, and he looks excellent. I think he looked in rare form the other night, which is good to see. Him and Leon finding some chemistry with Freddie, like that was nice to see. So nothing's changed from that perspective.
There you go. A few more thoughts from him. What does he feel now? Is there anything, because he was on a team that's won a cup, what does he feel his team needs to get over the hump and win the championship?
I mean, each year is different, so I don't know if you want to look. I always try to caution people not to look back at what went wrong or why didn't you win 2 years ago or last year. I mean, this year it's a different team. We got a different look here. We got some younger faces. I think that's probably the one thing I would point to. I'm excited about this year's group. We've got a number of younger players who are going to show some improvement over the season. So however they look in October and November is going to be different than how they look in April. And the whole goal for our team is not just those players, but our team in general. We want the team to take steps as the year goes on. And part of that can be adding new players. That's traditionally how it's gone. Like you're better. Like last year, we were better because we had Klingberg and Wallman and Frederick. They weren't here in the beginning of the year. But I think if that's the only way your team improves, it's a little bit limiting. We like to have some internal growth. So players, even a guy like Podkolzin's only 24. So I think he's going to be a guy who's a better version of himself in the spring than he is now. And I think we saw his game. You look at where he started last year. He's on the fourth line and kind of finding his way into the lineup to where the playoffs come, and he's a really important player. I think he can take an even bigger step this year, and we want him to, and we need him to. And then you add some of the younger guys that haven't even played yet. And even Noah Phillips, not young, but he doesn't have a lot of NHL experience. And I think a guy like that can improve over the season, as well as Savoy and Howard. And there's other guys, too, that we've seen have shown well in training camp. So I think that's the difference probably this year to previous years is we're going to have obviously hope to add players, too, as the year goes on. We just added Connor Ingram today. So it's about where our team is. Like what we're focused on now is starting the year strong But when you look at the big picture of the whole season, we want to see our team to be able to take steps internally. That's, I think, where your team can really maybe have a different look. We didn't have much of that the last couple of years, where we had players grow huge leaps and bounds over the year. I hope to see that this year.
That's what you need, right? You want guys to improve. Now, Howard and Savoy, those are some young guys. How is he going to balance keeping them in Edmonton over development time in Bakersfield? We saw how much it helped Savoy last year. How much is that playing into the conversation this year?
It's a balancing act. I think that's where our coaching staff is going to rely on them to do the proper amount of encouragement, giving them, trying to build up their confidence. But at times, if they're not ready, they may not play every game, and that's okay. It's not, it's an adjustment. The NHL game is different. No matter what you say, it's certainly harder than college hockey, and it's a step up from the American League. So, learning to deal with the rigors of the league is part of that process. And, we'll kind of take it as it goes. We're trying not to script it out, like how it's going to work. Part of it's going to be how our team's performing. Part of it's going to be how they're doing individually. Want to build their confidence up, and also they have to find their role on the team. And it might be different than the role that they've played elsewhere. And that's all part of young players assimilating is, they might not get the opportunities they did in years past, which is okay. If they can learn to contribute in different ways. And that's part of their evolution to being an NHL player. And it's going to happen. It's just a matter of how quickly and how smoothly it happens. That's a process our coaches are going to work with.
So there you have it. The other news, of course, Chris Knobloch's contract. You mentioned they're getting closer. He doesn't think there's going to be any big thing. I wouldn't be stunned if Knobloch has a contract announced before the start of the regular season. We know that they're negotiating with Jake Wallman at this time. It's more about term. It seems like they're close to. I've always said 6-7 years. I think. I know that he still technically could get an 8-year deal at this point. We'll see if they do it. It probably comes down to AAV and what's right for both sides. It's always a battle, man. Of course, the player side's like, hey, I should get $8 million. And the team's like, maybe 6.5. What do you think? Just still ridiculous amounts, but we'll see. Let's get to the con man and a sports 1440 update brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where the rates never change. No overtime charges. That's how you build a legacy at legacyheating.ca.
This is a sports 1440 update.
The Edmonton Oilers acquired goaltender Connor Ingram from the Utah Mammoth with salary retained for future consideration. The team then assigned him to the AHL's Bakersfield Condors. Ingram has a career record of 39-44-15 with a .902 save percentage and 3.14 goals against average. Oilers on the ice tonight down in Seattle taking on the Kraken just after 8 o'clock. Also the Sharks, Ducks, Flames, Canucks, Avs in Vegas, and the Sabres taking on the Penguins. The New Jersey Devils and restricted free agent defenseman Luke Hughes agreeing to terms 7 years, $63 million. Hughes scored 7 goals at 44 points in 71 games last season, and the Colorado Avalanche confirming that Eric Johnson has retired after 17 NHL seasons. Major League Baseball playoff action right now, midway through the 6th. Padres lead the Cubbies 3-0. Cubs up in that series 1-0. Earlier today, Guardians defeated the Tigers 6-1 to force a Game 3 that goes tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Then later on this afternoon, you got Yankees and Red Sox, also Dodgers and Reds. Red Sox and Dodgers both lead their series 1-0. From the NFL, news for the 49ers continuing as Brock Purdy will not play tomorrow night against the Rams with a toe injury. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Tyler Yaremchuk of Oilers Nation and hear another edition of Cam Tate's 2-Minute Warning. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
This is Sports 1440,
a Stingray radio station
broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Listen up, because you're not going to want to miss this. Right now is your chance to get in on Play Alberta's biggest offer ever. For a limited time only, new players can get up to a $1,000 casino bonus when they sign up. There's never been a better time to join the fun. Visit playalberta.ca today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantor, proudly delivering world-class hydraulic torque wrenches in Canada since 2016. I'm thrilled to announce our in-house production of tool components and accessories for faster turnarounds and enhanced versatility. The future is here at Cantor.com.
Got a car you're ready to part with? Find out what it's worth, fast, easy, and totally free at Go Auto. We're talking top dollar trade-ins, whether it's a little worn or still rocking that new car smell. Just a few clicks, and boom, you've got your value. Text value to 780-777-7777 to start. That's value to 780. Find just what it's worth.
Oh, baby. Welcome to the Wednesday edition of the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440 Sports.
The new charcoal menu at Booster Juice.
Charcoal menu?
Introducing the Eclipse Smoothie, Blackout Booster Mixer, and Midnight Booster Ball.
Where's that voice coming from?
Dark and
Connor Halley,
made with
Sports
activated charcoal.
Can we please turn the lights back on?
Sorry, I'm just excited
Back.
about the new charcoal menu.
Oh, jeez.
Wow, that is good.
Right?
Available now only at Booster Juice.
At Fountain Tire, get up to 25% off select tires, up to $125 off a set of 4 select Goodyear tires, and $50 off $150 service until October 18th. Restrictions apply. Book today. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
At Leading Edge Physiotherapy, we believe that life shouldn't hurt. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't know that sometimes it really hurts. I mean, we've seen people at their worst moments in life, when they feel they have nowhere to turn, or at a time when they felt like their problem just wouldn't ever go away. We've also seen people who thought to themselves, it'll just go away on its own, or this is no big deal. I don't want to bother anyone about this. Don't know where to turn to, or think it's no big deal. Either way, we have the technology, techniques, and skills to help you get back to it, whatever your it may be. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
Farm, ranch, acreage, or lake lot. They're here to help at Bashaw Concrete Products. Family owned and operated for 60 years. They continue to provide the best products and service, period. Call now for your free quote on the highest quality ready mix and gravel, a new septic tank, or an outhouse pad and tank, plus precast cattle water pads, garage sumps, and more. Call 780-372-3854 for prompt delivery. Bashaw Concrete Products, 780-372-3854. BashawConcrete.com.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Just after 3 o'clock, welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram, as well as Sports 1440. I think we got us on both YouTube and the X for the D-Man running the show. So I love it. Busy show, great first hour. Lots of hockey talk. We got some baseball talk as well. We'll get to all of that. And more, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. You can text us in our inbox. It is the Gregor Show, as always, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Hey, guys, do you happen to know how many of those teams that were 10-2 were home or away? I'd have to go through it. I do know that one of them was the 2022 Blue Jays. Remember that? They were at home against Seattle, lost both games. Remember that? That was the second game, was that crazy 10-9 game. Oh, that was a rare offensive explosion in the playoffs. You just don't see it that much, right? Cleveland was the home team that year. Philly was a road team. The Padres were a road team. So road teams were 3-1 in 2022. I'd have to go. Then it would have to kind of go year by year. So I don't think we can just the first year anyway. Wasn't just the home teams that were doing it. It's hard. Like you lose game one and now you're instantly in a must-win situation. And I get it. It's tough. And like these teams are close. Like the games are all close. If you look at those second games, that year, Toronto loses the second game by 1. The Guardians by 1-0. Phillies win 2-0. So, and the now actually the Padres Mets, that was one of the few that actually went to 3 because the Mets lost game 1, won game 2, but then the Padres came back and won game 3. So it was actually road teams were 2-1 in 2022. Try to get the exact stuff after, but when they were we're talking about just those first 10, the teams who won 10 times after winning game 1. Hey, Greg, here's a twist. What if Knobloch says I'm not signing until I find out how long McDavid's going to be here? Just thinking how'd that look, West End Juan. Well, Juan, I can tell you there's 0 chance of that happening. Absolutely 0. Because Chris Knobloch, NHL player free agents, a little bit different than coach free agents. Some can get a job, but not all, right? So, no, I think Chris Knobloch is he's worrying about himself. He doesn't think, I'm not going to sign because Connor McDavid isn't here. No, I think he wants to coach in Edmonton, and they've had a lot of success. He's had unreal success. Like we're talking some of the best early success in coaching history in the NHL. So, no, I don't see him going anywhere. Hey, Gregor, I understand McDavid's decision depends on how the Oilers are going to look 2, 3, 4 years from now. I have no idea how anyone will know that 3 or 4 months now, how the team will look. All I know is the longer players hold out in their final year, the chance of them signing is on the lower end. Doug. Like for star players, like John Tavares left. Pietrangelo wanted to sign, and St. Louis kind of gave him the runaround. And then at the last second, St. Louis was like, okay, we'll come back. And he was like, no, I'm out. So when I look at, I'm not talking like mid-tier guys, bottom-end guys who are like, I'm going to free agency because I had a great year. And, you know, I'm going to cash in big because this is my only chance to cash in. And I totally understand it. So I don't put much stock into if it's November 1st, December 1st, January 1st, that lowers his chances of signing. All it does is it means you're closer to him having the opportunity to look anywhere else. But it doesn't, as I've said many times, how's Connor McDavid? No one can tell you how good or bad a team is. Now, you can make an educated guess, right? You can compile as much information as possible. And I think that's what he's doing, right? Like if I'm Connor McDavid, my questions aren't so much about what is the organization going to look like on the ice in 3 years. It's more so, what is the organization doing to give us the best chance to do look good on the ice? Are you spending the amount of money on scouts, on nutritionalists, all that stuff that gives you the best chance? Because make no mistake, I think people would be surprised at how organizations, what they deem valuable and important. Everybody's different. Some guys will be like, yeah, we'll get the scouts, but this is what we're going to pay our scouts. And if they're willing to work for us, great. And if they go somewhere else, oh, well. But you can lose some of the best in that situation. So I think those are probably the bigger questions I would have if I was Connor McDavid. Because no one can guarantee you that guys are going to stay healthy. Now, you can look at, all the studies that they do on sleeping and all those sorts of things. But I think it probably comes down to a lot of the small things that organizations doing. Are you, what are you doing to improve your chances of making better draft picks in the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th round? Right now, those players aren't going to help Connor. And Connor might say, I don't really care about their draft picks over the next 3 years because by the time any of them play here, that's 5 or 6 years down the road. Let's be real. Right? The Oilers, unless they fall off a cliff, aren't picking in the top 5 or 10 anytime soon. Now, you can still get a good player late in the first, no question. But that's where I think scouting comes into play, but a lot of it comes into development. How are you developing players? What's your development system look like? Those are probably the more important questions, because no one can, how can anyone tell you, okay, the Oilers are in the playoffs. God, their team's really deep. They got a good second line center. They got a good first line center. They got really good wingers. They got really good defense. They got competent goaltending, yada, yada, yada. And then 2 injuries occur. Now what happens? You lose and you're like, what do we do wrong? Nothing. Life happened. The unpredictability of sports happened. So while Connor says, you know what, sure, but you can only do so much of, quote, predicting the future when it comes to the NHL. And so for him, it'll just come down to, as he said, it's a feeling. Like, does this feel right? And I don't know the answer. I can't get inside Connor's head. I don't think you can get inside his head. I'm not even sure his teammates can. Right? It'll come down to him. Obviously, his wife will have, lots of conversations, I would hope, I would assume, with him. He'll trust his inner circle, his parents, his brother, his agent. I'm sure there's some other people that he really trusts for their opinion, but ultimately, he's going to make up his own mind. And I would be surprised if he left. I'd be equally surprised if he signed a long-term deal. Both could happen. He could leave. He also could sign a long-term deal. I just think a short-term deal is the one that's the most realistic at this time. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. It is the Jason Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Hey guys, I honestly don't see another team with a better opportunity than Edmonton, especially at the number 2 locked up and number 29. If you get warm, now it says if you get warm and locked up and you have Nurse, you're golden. Well, I'm not sure who warm is, Ontario, but I look at the orders. They don't really have. So you've got, maybe it means Wallman. So Wallman locked up, sure. Like, I like Jake Wallman, but do we know for sure? Like, are you guys, how confident are you? Do you know exactly what Jake Wallman is? I don't know. I like what I saw from Jake Wallman a lot, but was that a 50 gamer? Is that the best of Jake Wallman, or is there still a little bit more? Is there a little bit more juice to squeeze? I honestly don't know. I haven't seen him enough. I think he's definitely a top 4 NHL defenseman. Do I think he's a lock, stone cold top 2 defenseman? I'd need to see more. There's definitely potential there. And like if Ekholm comes down, could he go up in your top pair with Bouchard? I think so. He obviously can play both sides. That helps. Hey guys, I'm curious with the potential teacher strike. Do you guys have any ideas on what to do to keep kids excited? Well, I don't know. Is it any different than some? Well, I guess it's maybe different for some people. You're working, but it's kind of like when your kids got 2 months off in the summer. All I know is talking to young kids. Now, I would think it's going to be very challenging for someone who's in high school, right? They're going into grade 12. And you know what? They're pretty gung-ho about graduating, their future, and they're pretty excited about it. They want to get good grades. They want to get into a university or college. That'd be really stressful. As odd as it sounds, those kids are probably like, I don't want a teacher strike. I want to finish. So I get it. Now, you get into most elementary kids, and if they're lucky enough to have a safe home environment, they are pumping their fists, high-fiving kids. They're going to get some time off. Because when you're that young, and if you're in an unstable environment, you don't have many worries in life. We look back on it, it's like, God, if I would have known then what I know now, I really would have appreciated my childhood. But you know what? It's probably good that you don't know, because you just enjoy it. You live in the moment as a kid, and every day is great. And like, it is funny. I watch, and I listen to the kids when they play together, and I kind of miss that. Like, you think about it, how often do you ever just play with your buddies? Now, maybe you play rec hockey, but it's just different. It just is. Like, they're playing, but they don't have responsibilities. They're not worrying about having to pay for this or pay for that, right? Nor should they. They're 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, just enjoying life. So, yeah, I have no great tips. I would suggest that, you probably want to, I can tell you right now, like for my son, he will be reading for a half an hour a day minimum. right? I'm going to print off some math stuff that's equivalent. Just say, hey, you got 50 minutes. Just keep your brain sharp. Right? You got all day to play here. But you can still do some things like this. So I do know for a fact I might be, I might not be in son's good book, but oh, well, that's parenting. I'm not supposed to be his best friend. So just, if you do fun things with him, but they're going to get to play outside a lot. So I don't know. I have no idea how long it'll last. For me, I would like to see a resolution. I've always been pretty steadfast in my support of teachers and the importance of that job. It's a job I would not want to do. And I think it's a very difficult job to do. I think it's become a little bit harder in a lot of the situations. So hopefully they can come to agreement that, gets them back. And the problem is there's nothing that's going to change it instantly. That's the challenge. And it's a bigger conversation that has to be had. And it's one that's going to involve a lot of serious things that we're not going to get into on the sports show, but I'd gladly get into it somewhere else because I think two things can happen at once. I can be a huge sports fan and still care about other things in life and be educated enough to talk about it. Right? I always, here's a sports guy. So I've never read anything else. Right? Sorry, I disagree. But I wish all those involved, because parents obviously might disrupt your life for sure. If for families who have both parents working, obviously that's going to be a big challenge, I would think. And is there enough daycares for all the kids at this point? I don't have the answer to that. I would hope there is if other things to do, but hopefully it doesn't last that long. But I will say, for the time it does last, the young kids are probably going to have the time of their life thinking it's great. We'll come back. Your Remchuk will join us. Also, we got Cam Tate, the 2-minute warning. We'll update you on the MLB playoffs. The Jays could find out as early as tonight who they play. If the Red Sox are able to win a second straight game in New York, it'll be Boston and Toronto. Now, if you saw the start times, both of those games are going to be in the afternoon, Saturday and Sunday, against the Yankees and Boston. Just depending on who the opposition is, it'll impact the start time of the Sunday game a little bit. But either way, they're going to be starting in the afternoon. And I'm sure you'll get some, the Jays should be starting at night. What? The Jays play Saturday, Sunday in the afternoon, most games all year. Why does it matter when the game's on? You're going to watch it. It's playoffs. You'll watch it. Just how it goes. Quick break. We'll return to Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at ewell.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Sure, your couch is comfortable, but watching the game is always better and on the rocks. With crystal clear TVs, you won't miss a single play, and the specials are a major league win. Pre-game warm-up starts with specials 30 minutes before the puck drops. Get 69-cent wings and $5.75 Molson Canadian and Coors Light drafts, and play score and win every game for your chance to win big. Be part of the action this hockey season. See the menu online at ontherocksyeg.com.
Mr. Rooter meets a ghost. 1 plunge, 2, and 3. A toilet clogged with a ghost? Man, I love plumbing. You're free now.
I will never find peace. The clog is fixed, yes, but I have never trusted the sump pump.
No problemo. I can fix that. Now, go to the light, you little scamp.
Thank you, Mr. Rooter.
To resolve your unfinished plumbing business, trust one plumber, Mr. Rooter.
Actions speak louder than words. Japa Machinery Group puts your construction plan into action with XCMG construction machinery you need. Available for rental or sale. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
While the players gear up for the new season, make sure you gear up your snack game with Will Hawk Beef Jerky.
Okay, this jumbo bag of beef jerky should last the preseason.
Whoa. Will Hawk has more than just beef jerky. There's smoked sausage and pepperoni products, too.
Well, how about we have jerky for Eastern opponents and pepperoni sticks when we face the Western teams?
Now that sounds like a Will Hockey game plan.
Will Hawk Beef Jerky, because you don't win games with salad. Only available in Leduc.
Ah, Hawaii. The warmth of a golden sunset as the waves roll in. The freshness of a waterfall. The lush scent of tropical flowers in the air. You don't need to travel to enjoy all Hawaii has to offer. You just need to order pizza. Bring Hawaii home with the Aloha Trio, available for a limited time at Papa John's. Try our classic Hawaiian, Super Hawaiian, or Hawaiian barbecue chicken for just $19.99 each. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, proudly locally owned and operated.
Yeah, can I get yes. A common reaction from a veggie lover. Always scanning, searching, longing. But wait, what is this we see? The new McVeggie, now at McDonald's.
When it comes to choosing a hair clinic, the difference is in the doctor.
I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. Transforming how you feel about yourself is a very personal experience, and I'll work directly with you every step of the way.
Physicians come from all over the world to learn from Dr. Elliott.
When your personal goal is to help other people achieve theirs, you must deeply understand the latest treatments.
Want to feel confident and comfortable? The difference is in the doctor.
I'm Dr. Vance Elliott at drvanceelliott.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Get the Gregor special. Enjoy 20% off any regular price order when you enter promo code Gregor at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by playalberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Oh, she might get a hold on you. You never know when it comes. That's what's challenging about that thing called love. You never know. Never know. Be prepared. Be prepared. It can get you. It can get you at any time. Welcome back to the Gregor Show, presented by playalberta.ca. Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the province of Alberta at playalberta.ca. Also tonight, $28 million up for grabs in the OG of lotteries, Lotto 649. Play at playalberta.ca. Of course, Major League Baseball playoffs continuing on. You have a bye week for the Elks. Oilers' second final preseason game. Hip hop hooray. Like, come on, you kidding me? You don't even know who the roster is because, hey, it's a preseason game. And God forbid if you sent that out. Because, wouldn't want to give your fans any sort of, I just don't understand, like, what are teams doing? Like, if I'm the commissioner, I'm just say, guys, 10 a.m. the morning of the game, you put forth who's playing. And if there's one or two changes, we'll survive. Simple, done, easy. I don't know why. It would be mandatory across the league. Everybody has the same standard. Like, look in the NFL. Right? You have to submit your injured list. What is it, Cons? 2 hours before game time, I think it is.
Yeah, and then you have to do it daily as well.
Yeah.
And if you lie, you get fined.
Yeah. So guess what? They survive. So the NHL is good. A lot of the good things the NHL does, there's still some things that to me are just beyond understanding. Absolutely beyond understanding. I can't get it. I do not get it. Anyway, let's talk some Oilers. Tyler Yaremchuk from Oilers Nation, and rumor has it that's his expanded show that he also got a 30% raise. I don't know if that's true or not, but he joins us now. Ty, how you doing?
Who's getting that money? If they're giving someone an extra 30%, it is certainly not me. I don't know how I got roped into doing a longer show for the same amount of pay, but here we are.
Oh, there you go. There you go. What was your initial thoughts on the Ingram deal?
I just thought it made a lot of sense. Like, going back to last week, this is something Liam and I talked about on the show, and it was pretty easy to see the logic in letting Ingram clear waivers and then going and acquiring the player. As Bowman said, he hasn't been a part of training camp. Like, if you would have outright traded for him a week ago, then had to put Calvin Pickard on waivers, I think that disrupts the room. It puts Ingram at a disadvantage because he's coming in later than everybody. He also didn't play a lot of hockey last year. Like, having him go down to Bakersfield and playing 15, whatever the number is, 15 games, 17 games and then you can make a decision if you need to. It just makes a lot of sense. And also getting Utah to retain the money so that if you feel the need to do a Pickard for Ingram swap at some point in the season, financially, it's basically the same. I think he'll be like an extra $50,000 or $100,000. So this is a win-win deal for everybody. Ingram gets a shot in an organization where there is a legitimate pathway to him getting regular NHL games at some point. Maybe it's not even this year. Maybe, both Pickard and Skinner are UFAs. Maybe Ingram's a goalie a year from now who's up on the NHL roster. For Utah, they get out of some real money and they also do right by the player. And yeah, it's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, and we had Kevin Woodley on, and they talked about, hey, this guy hasn't had a training camp. Like, people need to be realistic on when they think he's going to be even ready for the NHL. It ain't going to be this month, I'll tell you that right now. So, get into Bakersfield and just get comfortable. And as Stan Bowman said, it really the only risk here is financial. And it's not a risk because you got to pay him either way. But the only thing they've really taken on here is to get a goalie, and you got to pay him $1.15 million to start out in minors.
Yeah. And again, for an organization like the Oilers, that should be nothing. And also an organization who's not paying a lot to their goaltenders to begin with. I know cap-wise it's whatever. And yeah, financially the Oilers are fine. So I like this. And again, if we get to December and one of Skinner or Pickard are struggling, you kind of just have this built-in bullet that you can fire, whether it's December, January, February, whenever you feel like you need to do it, if you even need to do it. Like, again, Calvin Pickard's passed basically every test this organization has put in front of him. I know he doesn't come off in the style that he plays like a super trustworthy goalie. His style of play doesn't always inspire the most confidence in you, but like every regular season stretch they've given him, he's been good. His regular season numbers have been at or close to league average, which for a goalie making $1 million, that's kind of all you're looking for. And every playoff test he's passed as well. Like, there's a world where both Skinner and Pickard are just good and passable and fine for this whole season. And the Oilers don't need to go to Ingram. But again, for Ingram, it's a chance to go play. And for the Oilers, it's an insurance policy.
Yeah, no, I would agree for sure. And we'll see where it goes. Tonight, the roster, there's a few guys we know, like the big guys, my understanding, are not going. But there are some guys, like based on yesterday, Noah Phil, Tomasic, who didn't skate due to illness. Now, maybe they'll be ready. But I would think they might hold him out just because of that. And like Noah Phillips had a pretty good camp, 4 points in 4 games. He's played the most games, but he's tied for the Oilers preseason scoring. Like, he's done pretty much all you could ask for him. But these last 2 games would have been a better opportunity for him because Seattle is going to dress not all their guys because they got some guys hurt, but they're going to dress close to probably 80% in NHL roster. And Vancouver, probably the same thing. And like, if you're Noah Phillips, hopefully he's healthy on Friday. Because if you want to try to make an impression, not only to the team, but to teams watching the waiver wire, you got to get into these final preseason games.
Yeah, absolutely. For Philp, I'm still of the belief that he should be on the big club to start the year. Like, you won't lose Curtis Lazar on waivers. I would be stunned if an organization claimed Curtis Lazar. And I haven't thought Curtis Lazar has been anything other than, I don't know what I expected him to be, just an average looking NHL, maybe quad A style guy. Like, again, no disrespect to Curtis Lazar, but there is an upside to Noah Philp. He learned how to kill penalties last year. He's come into camp and looked faster. I mean, when he gets the puck, you can see it in the goals he scores in the preseason. Like, there's something there. Like, he has good offensive instincts. I don't know why they would risk losing him to waivers and not give him a nice little bit of runway to start the year. Like, he's been one of the more impressive players in camp. He checks the size box. He checks the right shot box. Like, all of that stuff. I think Noah Phillips should be on this team come opening day. And, even if they were to put Hyman on LTIR to start the season, like, they can keep 14 players on the roster. I don't know why you would rush to make a decision and put someone on waivers when you don't necessarily have to. So, yeah, I want to see Noah Phillips on this team. I'm of the belief he's done more than enough to earn that spot. And I think it'd be a shame if they were to potentially lose him on waivers.
Yeah, the counter, of course, to a guy like Curtis Lazar is you're a veteran of that many NHL games. You're not blowing your bank in preseason. You know what I mean? Like, it is, I find preseason sometimes for veteran bottom 6 guys is a real hard time to gauge them because most of them are just like, just get me through it.
Yeah, and that's fair too. And that would almost be a counterpoint to what you were saying of like, hey, Seattle's going to dress a veteran lineup. Okay, how hard are those veterans going, right? The guys who are on the bubble are busting their behind trying to crack a team here. But for a guy like Lazar who barely played last year, I don't know. I would maybe look at that and go, you should be just as hungry as a Hamblin or a Philp. Like, he should be fighting to keep his NHL career alive at this point after not really playing a ton in New Jersey. I know health was a big reason for that as well. And, he says he hasn't been at 100% the last year or so, but still, to me, open competition for a job like the fourth line center, I give it to the hungry kid. And you know what? If it doesn't work and it's middle of November or the start of November and you're like, Noah Philp doesn't have it, make the swap at that point. Say, we're putting you on waivers. If someone claims you, shake hands and best of luck. If not, you go down to Bakersfield. But I think, basing it off training camp for a job like that is more than okay. And Philp's won the job.
Charlie Remchuk joins us. What about on the back end? Has Regula done enough in your eyes, do you think, I don't know if he's done enough to push Emberson or Stetcher out, have you?
No, I don't. And I want him to play too, right? Like Emberson, it seems to be some people are turning on Emberson a little bit. I'm totally fine with him. And I thought he had a decent regular season last year. I think there's potential with this guy. I think going with the 7D you kind of had to close the season last year is the right call. Keep Stetcher, the dependable veteran who and we saw it last year. If Stetcher has to sit for 2 weeks, you can point to him, throw him into a game, and you know what you're going to get. It's not like he's going to need 2 games to get warmed up. Like, he's used to playing that role. And for Regula, again, barely played hockey over the last 18 months. Send him down to Bakersfield, let him play 18 to 20 minutes a night, and let him get up to speed. And when an injury eventually hits, because we've all been following the sport long enough to know that you don't just make it through the year with the 7 defensemen you start with, then let Regula come up when he's gotten some reps in. But again, to just keep him on the team because he's had a good camp for the sake of making him the 7th defenseman, I don't see any reason why that benefits him or the team.
So I've watched Emberson rather closely. To me, Emberson looks like a more confident and comfortable player than he did last year. And I think the big thing for Emberson will be his role on the penalty kill. They need a better penalty kill. I know it. Everybody, the 2024 playoffs was great. It was an unreal 25-game stretch that's never going to be repeated. I would love to find if there was ever a stretch of any team in the NHL in the regular season that went 25 games and was -1 on the penalty kill, because that's what they were that year. They allowed 4, but they scored 3 shorties. I'd be curious. Might have to get my buddy at the NHL to look into that. Has a team ever over a 25-game stretch be -1 on the penalty kill? Like, that's ridiculous. It means like you're -3 point whatever in the whole season. Like, it's stupid. So they got to get better, because their last 2 regular seasons, their penalty kill has not been as good as they would like it to be. So I know they've switched up their PK a bit. I've seen it in bits and pieces. And that's another thing that you usually the final 2 regular season games, you get a few more veterans in, because you just want to try to get, okay, guys, here's the new penalty kill. Now we'll get our units together and see how they go.
Yeah. And for Emberson too, he wasn't acquired with much fanfare, and that makes sense. But I think people forget, and it's a similar conversation of Pud Colson, but Emberson's 25 years old. Like, when Jake Wallman was Ty Emberson's age, he was still an American Hockey League defenseman. Again, I'm not saying Emberson is the same type of defenseman as Wallman, but the point is, there are late bloomers, and a lot of times defensemen are late bloomers. Like, to think Emberson can go into that role a little bit as he gets into his late 20s, just develops a little bit more of that grown man strength that you get. And for something like playing on the penalty kill or being a third pairing defenseman who relies on physicality, like, yeah, sometimes you just need to be in your mid to late 20s until you finally learn how to, or finally get that muscle and finally learn how to play that way. So yeah, people who want to write off Ty Emberson because he wasn't great in the playoffs and was healthy scratched, I think that's foolish. And it's similar to Pud Colson. Like, he signs that contract, $2.9 million, and I see fans going, "Oh, he had 8 goals last year. What are you doing paying?" He doesn't even, his birthday's not till June. This is his 24-year-old season. Like, there's plenty of upside here with a player who probably just needs to get a little bit more confidence with the puck on his stick. So for both those guys, like, I liked those moves from Bowman at the time, and I've not soured on either one of those players. Like, there's people saying, go trade Emberson for Lucas Reichel. What are we talking about here? Like, don't give up on a 25-year-old defenseman who has basically 1.5 seasons in the league.
Like, where's Lucas Reichel fitting in on this team? Like, seriously, I've seen his name come out there, but if you're trading, you got to get rid of a forward. You think they need more forwards? Where is he playing?
No. Again, you can sit here and go, like, once, because Hyman is coming back at some point, and we just talked about, I like Noah Philp. I'd like to see him be in the NHL. So if you were to go Philp and Hyman, we're talking about an organization that has 14, 15 forwards that you can trust at the NHL level. And that's not including guys, I'm not high on Max Jones by any means, but like, you can call him up in a pinch. Szymanski's looked good. Quinn Hudson has been one of the bigger surprises through training camp for me, just from the perspective of, I wasn't sure if there was an NHL player in there, but now I can kind of see how he can develop into one. Like, this organization has more than enough projects at the NHL level. Tomasek, Phil, Podkolzin, go down the line, and more than enough depth at forward. Like, they don't need to be taking shots on Lucas Reichel at $1.3 million.
Ty, I don't know if you've got a TV around you or not, but I just witnessed something that's never happened before. Mason Miller just threw the fastest postseason pitch in the pitch tracking history at 104.5 miles an hour. And even when you watch it on replay, it's like the ball disappears at one point. It is, I'm like, how do these guys, like, he's just mowing guys down. And you look at the game today, obviously I know your good buddy Eric and his Guardians, that's all they've done for the last 2 months is play must-win baseball. So they're probably pretty comfortable in that situation. But give me your thoughts quickly on what you've seen early in the postseason. And do you believe the Red Sox are an infinitely better matchup or just a little bit better matchup for the Jays, if it happens?
I'm not sold that they're a better matchup at all. I think them and the Yankees are honestly really close. Like, those Yankees bats do scare you, and New York loaded up their bullpen. So, like, gun to my head, I would rather play the Boston Red Sox. So I'll say they're a slightly better matchup. But, like, again, a best of 5 is not a best of 7. You're going to have to face Garrett Crochet probably twice in that series, because if you push the Red Sox to the brink in a game 4, they will pitch that guy on short rest. I think he's that much of a gamer. Like, facing Garrett Crochet twice really does scare me, but I'd much rather.
You think they're going to pitch him in game 1 on 3 days rest?
Saturday, he last pitched on Tuesday, so he'd have Wednesday, Thursday. Oh, no, so you're right. Yeah, he'd probably get games 2, but he would probably get game 5 then in a pinch. Like, I do think they can spin it so Crochet pitches twice in the ALDS. Like, he just scares me. Crochet in general scares me. He's had a great season, but again, you give the edge to the Yankees bats when you do the side-by-side comparison. So I'd probably still face the Boston Red Sox, but even look at Aroldis Chapman. Like, I know he got into a bit of a jam last night. That's a guy who for a 2-month stretch in the regular season was like absolutely unhittable. Like, when you play the Boston Red Sox, it is basically an 8-inning ball game, because if they're up in the 9th, you are not getting a sniff off that guy. So yeah, I mean, both teams are really good. It'll be a great series no matter who they play, but I'd probably take the Red Sox as my ideal matchup.
And is Eric going to pitch tomorrow? He's obviously made appearances in both games. Has yet to give up a run in his 1.1 innings. Do you think he goes back to back in this series?
I usually know, like, the general rule of thumb in baseball is, like, if you use a reliever back-to-back days, you give him a day off. But that one outing was only one batter in game 1.
What I mean. Exactly. It was only one batter. So I think he could, right?
Yeah, I think he could probably go again, and it's been awesome to see that Stephen Vogt kind of trusts him the way he does. Like, he was brought into game 1. Kerry Carpenter was coming to the dish, and I think that was a bit of a chess move from Cleveland, being like, because it was Kerry Carpenter coming up. I think they just wanted Kerry Carpenter out of the game because he's a really, really good hitter against righties, but he doesn't hit lefties well. And I mean, AJ Hinch kept Carpenter in. Sabrowski got him. It was awesome. Then today, Rattles. The one walk was kind of chintzy. He got squeezed a bit by the ump. Of course, I'm going to say that. But again, solid outing. Maybe tomorrow. I mean, your season's on the line. Cleveland's great in that spot, but your season's on the line. If you think he's giving you a best shot, you pitch him.
Is Vladdy going to hit a ball out of the infield on the weekend?
Gregor, he hit 2 balls off the wall in their intra-squad game today. So giddy up, Vladdy's back. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid.
God, do they need him? Like, it's been odd to watch him. Like, I sometimes you could crush balls and it's a line drive. You know what? That goes right in the guy's glove. You're like, okay, he's hitting the ball hard. But man, he has been hitting muffins for like 10 days.
Oh, and he's not getting into good counts. Like, every time he comes up, it's like clockwork. First pitch or second pitch, hammers it to the shortstop. Or I shouldn't even say hammers it. He hits it into the dirt to the shortstop. Like, it's been a bad slump, but like, he's also a guy, and he's been to the playoffs now a couple times in his career. I don't think it's something where the moment's too big for him. He's a guy who, when he's hot, that's probably one of the best top 3 swings in all of baseball. Like, if he can get going for 2 weeks, he's a guy who I wouldn't be surprised. Again, he can have a 1,300 OPS for a playoff series and totally carry an offense. And they might need it because Vladdy kind of let the cat out of the bag today that Bo's not playing in the ALDS. So, again, they need the offense. Santander, too. I mean, if that guy can wake up and be anything like they thought he'd be when they signed him, that would be massive.
Mason Miller faced 5 batters in his 1 2/3 inning, struck them all out. Struck out 5 in a row, man. That guy was dealing for San Diego. So
he's unreal. He is unreal.
Like, how do you, like, they always say, like, you get good pitching, man, it's really hard to hit it. And right now outside of that LA Cincinnati game, it's been pretty much dominant pitching. And so that's what the Jays. So quickly, last one I go. Who do you think starts game 1, 2, and 3? If necessary, who would start? Well, no, there's going to be a game 3 we're going to talk about. Who starts 1, 2, and 3 for the Jays?
I go Gosman in game 1, and I am buying into the line of thinking of you give Trey Savage game 2 because it's at home and you have a day off after. So even if Savage doesn't do well and you want to piggyback him with Lauer, you can do that, and Lauer would still be available later in the series. I'd go Savage 2 to keep him at home, and then game 3, I'd go Shane Bieber, a guy who's been in big playoff series before. That guy can handle Yankee Stadium or Fenway Park and not blink. So those are my 3, and then I hope Chris Bassett's healthy because I'm going with him in game 4.
Ooh, see, I have Shane Bieber going in game 1. So
really?
I want to get, like he pitched before Gosman, so that I'm factoring that in a little bit. Like, there's more of a rest time, and some of these guys hate resting that long. So, I think I still think I would go Bieber. I've liked Bieber, man. Like he's had some early, and then after that, he just shuts it down. So that's why I think Bieber at his best is still a little bit better than Gosman at his best.
Are you buying Savage game 2, or do you say just go in order best to worst? You go Bieber, Gosman, Savage.
Yeah, I think I'm going to Savage and game. I don't, it's kind of funny. I don't know why, but I think the road game might be a little bit easier in a weird way. So I don't know why. Just because the crowd's gonna be so jacked up, like you're there, everybody's booing you, and something about this kid. Everywhere he's gone this year, he's just gotten better. He seems pretty unflappable. So I think I would put him in game 3. But
he's unbelievable.
I can see the argument for putting him in game 2. I totally can see it. So he's been fun to watch. Yeah, it's gonna be great. It'll be great. Awesome, man. Have a good one.
Okay, see you, Greg's.
There you go. That's Tyler Ramchuk from Oilers Nation. We'll come back. We got Cam Tate and the 2-minute warning. Also coming up, Steve Gardner, baseball. We got Spec. Ian Furness from Seattle. We'll try to get the line. People are wondering, hey, what's the lineup tonight? Here's what I know. Calvin Pickard starting in goal. That's what we know for sure. Stuart Skinner is scheduled to start Friday, the final preseason game against the Canucks in Vancouver. My understanding, McDavid, Draisaitl not going, but with that illness, like, I don't know, they got that many sick guys that they're going to have to send some guys to Seattle that they didn't plan on. We'll see. So it's still up in the air on that. Some guys that, as of yesterday, Savoy, Howard, those guys were playing, and you'd hope they're not all sick, but it's definitely going around. I talked to some guys. Obviously, I didn't go there yesterday. We had the day off, but they're saying there's quite a few guys hacking around. So you're almost like, do I really want to go there and get the sickness? So it can spread pretty quickly when you're hanging out in a close vicinity all the time. Take a quick break, and we'll return to the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
You've probably heard the term supply and demand. Something is needed and someone supplies it. We're GS Construction, and we're in the supply and demand business with you. Edmonton and the surrounding area continue to grow. Infrastructure has to be continually replaced and upgraded to keep up with demand. You see it with new buildings and new roads, but what about below ground, where all sorts of pipes bring you water and take wastewater away? That's where we come in. For more on what we do, go to gsconstruction.ca.
Whoa, who turned off all the lights?
Experience the new charcoal menu at Booster Juice.
Charcoal menu?
Introducing the Eclipse Smoothie, Blackout Booster Mixer, and Midnight Booster Ball.
Where's that voice coming from?
Dark and delicious, made with activated charcoal.
Can we please turn the lights back on?
Sorry, I'm just excited about the new charcoal menu.
Wow, that is good.
Right?
Available now, only at Booster Juice.
Bringing every project to life requires the right team. By joining the Japa Machinery Group service or sales teams, you can be part of setting a new industry standard. Celebrating a legacy of excellence with Japa. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
Listen up, because you're not going to want to miss this. Right now is your chance to get in on Play Alberta's biggest offer ever. For a limited time only, new players can get up to a $1,000 casino bonus when they sign up. There's never been a better time to join the fun. Visit playalberta.ca today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
At Fountain Tire, we're fluent in saving you money. Fluent? Yes, we've mastered the language of deals. Like right now, you can save up to 25% off select tires and up to $125 off a set of 4 select Goodyear tires. Plus, $50 off $150 service when you buy those tires. All until October 18th. I'm sorry, I don't speak deals. Spend less, save more when you buy round black things from us. Oh, got it. Restrictions apply. Book your appointment online today. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
An electrical solar team is now making a play for sustainability and savings. They're specialists in powering up for a greener future.
That's the strategy. Designing and installing high-efficiency solar panels. They're helping homes and businesses combat rising utility costs by harnessing the power of the sun.
A smart move for efficiency and the environment. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Albertans celebrate a bounty of beautiful places to visit, boundless adventures to take, all in driving distance. And Sherwood Honda has the fuel-efficient vehicle that helps you go even further and appreciate more. Hybrid CRVs and Civics mean more thanks in your tanks, more great trips to be grateful for. And of course, Sherwood Honda is thankful for the chance to help you get there. It's a beautiful time of year, and it sure would be nice to hit the road with Sherwood Honda.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. What's the best way to beat the tariffs? Buy Canadian. Cantork's products are not only made in Canada, but right here in Edmonton. Save money. Support Canada at cantork.com.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by playalberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$352. Welcome back, Jason Gregor. Connor Halley. With you, Declan Cougar, running things at YouTube. Go down there, say hi to him. He always has a little special chat going on in the YouTube chat room. You want to get involved in that. Got a few poll questions you can always answer. Check it out. And be sure to hit the subscribe button when you're there. Make his day. Numbers keep rising, which is awesome for us. Gregor Show, presented by playalberta.ca, where the games are more fun than ever. Better odds for all MLB, NFL, NHL, which officially begins on Tuesday night next week. So we are less than a week away from the start of the 25-26 NHL regular season. Let's get to the 2-minute warning now. Brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where the rates never change. That's how you build a legacy. No overtime charges late at night or on the weekends. LegacyHeating.ca. Cam Tate, longtime journalist in town. Cam, born with cerebral palsy, in a wheelchair, has always wanted to be in radio. Disability allowed until now. Through the wonders of technology, Cam's words come to life in the 2-minute warning.
Over the next while, I'll share some tales of my dad, a jokester, a miner, a goalie, a storyteller, a teacher. He once invited 4 pals to the farm for coffee, but laced their mugs with X-Lax, chaos, hilarity, a memory for life. Before he married Mom, Dad worked the Sudbury mines. He always said one man got fired every day, not for mistakes, for motivation, for fear, for urgency, to make the guys in the mine the day. Which brings us, oddly enough, to Connor Ingram, a son of Saskatoon, who joins the Oilers organization and is sent to Bakersfield. Dad was a goalie. Now, the Oilers have 2, Stuart Skinner and Calvin Pickard, who've been under hotter lights than a July stage at Klondike Days. To say Oiler fans haven't questioned them is like saying Sudbury is known for palm trees. So, enter Ingram. He doesn't even need to play a game. His presence alone, a pressed suit waiting in the farm closet, could make Skinner and Pickard better, sharper, hungrier, wiser, tougher. Competition has a way of doing that. The mines taught my dad that truth. Maybe the Oilers' crease will too. And one of these days, after practice, on a quiet Tuesday, I'll bring both Skinner and Pickard a coffee, with a wink. 2-minute warning weekdays. Gregor Halley, Tate Sports, 1440.
It's always good to have a little sense of humor amongst your buddies. Not sure if buddies would have appreciated that one. We'll see. Gotta have a little laugh, I guess, but it's a tough one. So probably more. I don't know. Do the young guys play those sorts of tricks on their friends now? Maybe someone does. Everybody has a different level. You probably have to know your friends. Some friends love jokes, others not so much. So see how it goes. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Lots of text coming in. Hey, guys, the first thing McDavid must do is look in the mirror. 1,000-point guy with only plus minus of 150 is not dominating player. When Ray Bourque hit 1,000, he was plus 546. That's dominating. When both Connor and Leon play a 200-foot game, the Oilers will be better off. Thanks from Big Guy 29. Well, Leon Draisaitl was the only 50-goal scorer in the NHL last year and was 6th in the Selke voting. I think Leon's proven he's a pretty good defense player. Plus minus might not always be your best number to go by for thing. It can give you a good insight, no question. But sometimes if your team allows weak goals and you have nothing part of it, well, there's nothing you can do, right? So I like to look at more, and you're picking out a guy. So instead of saying Ray Bourque, let's just go and say, okay, so you're saying Connor McDavid's plus 51, just for comparison's sake. Let's look in his career and see where that ranks. Because to just use Ray Bourque probably isn't a very fair comparison. It's one player, number one, in an era of a long, long time ago. So McDavid's actually plus 169. So let's get it all accurate. And in that time, the only forward who has a better plus minus, and by the way, he played 554 games, is Patrice Bergeron at plus 179. There's no other forward in the game in the 10 years that McDavid played who has a higher plus minus. So if you're going to use the plus minus, you kind of got to compare it to people there. If that's the only, do all end all stat. Right. And so, and I'm even including his rookie year. Right. If you go from his second year and take out his first 45 games, the Oilers missed the playoffs. He was a rookie. Since then, guess what? He was actually a -1 that year. So now he's plus 170. And no forward has a better plus minus in the last 9 years than Connor McDavid. So I'm not sold that the statistic of McDavid's plus minus illustrates what you think it's illustrating. That's why it's always good to, anytime we try to make a real massive statement based on one statistic, it can have a tendency to come back and bite us. But no forward has a better plus minus rating than Connor McDavid in the last 9 seasons. So that's not bad. Not bad at all. The higher than McKinnon, right? Matthews, Marchand, Artemi Panarin, Cale Makar, Matthew Tkachuk, Mitch Marner, go down the list. So, yeah. But sometimes did McDavid have his best 4 games in games 3 to 6 against the Florida Panthers this past? No, he did not. I think that's totally fair to say, hey, he would have liked to have played better in those games. No question. And the Oilers, they went 1-3 in those games. So that kind of hurts for sure. There's lots of factors that go into it, but I don't know if I can just agree and say, well, it's all McDavid's got to look in the mirror. He's not good defensively. Well, he scores a lot more than anybody else, and he clearly scores more than the opposition. If you're just going off plus minus, it's not the greatest stat, but we would use it. Hey guys, what about McDavid shooting the puck more? Well, he's talked about it. I think that's something that we'll see, and he's shown it before. And like for me, and I think it's difficult. I think Connor McDavid, when I see Connor, I just think like there's so much internal pressure. There's obviously external pressure too, but I think there's a lot of internal pressure on himself that he really wants to win. He feels like if he doesn't win, like because there's not many players. Like think about how many people. What do they like? They don't say, Nugent Hopkins isn't good because he hasn't won a cup, right? People are like, I love the Nuge. I expect him to be great, but I like him. But his reputation isn't hinged on whether or not he's on a Stanley Cup winning team. But when you're one of the greatest players in the game, it just is. Right or wrong, it's a different level. And he puts a massive amount of high expectations on himself, as he should. That's why he's driven. That makes him a great player. I think if the organization, things that I would look at doing is, and Stan Bowman, I think, has hinted at it, like they need a little bit more fun. Like you still got to have fun. The game's got to be fun. Got to have some laughs. Got to joke around. Right? You got to be able to be like, you know what? We can't win the cup on a bad performance in November. And you can't get that wrapped up in it like, oh my God, we're not coming back. And then, you know what? You can't get that wrapped up. It's hard. Right? Because I'm not, even Leon Draisaitl, as good as Leon Draisaitl is, I don't hear as much talk about, well, he's got to win a cup. You hear it about McDavid more. And Draisaitl's pretty damn good. He's really good. Right? And McDavid's done some things in the playoffs that very few players have done. Him and Draisaitl are what, third and fourth all time in points per game in the playoffs? Like, it's kind of hard to say how much more can they do in the big picture. We can pick out one game. It should be better in this game. Should be better in that game. Sure. But when you're looking at the whole picture, like, come on. They've been pretty good. So there's lots of pressure there internally. And if they could turn down the internal pressure some ways, I think that'd be a good thing. Let's get to the con man and a sports 1440 update brought to you by Fountain Tire. You need tires, but your wallet maybe isn't ready for it right now. Well, at Fountain Tire, they got you covered. 0% financing for 6 months or easy equal payments spread out over 12, both with no interest, because road ready should mean wallet ready. FountainTire.com.
This is a sports 1440 update.
The Edmonton Oilers acquired goaltender Connor Ingram from the Utah Mammoth with salary retained for future considerations. He's been assigned to the AHL's Bakersfield Condors. Ingram has a career record of 39, 44, and 15 with a save percentage of .902 and a 3.14 goals against average. The Oilers are in action tonight down in Seattle taking on the Kraken. That one gets going just after 8 o'clock. You also have the Sharks and the Ducks. Flames taking on the Canucks. Avalanche in Vegas, and the Sabres host the Penguins. The New Jersey Devils and RFA defenseman Luke Hughes agreeing to a contract extension worth $63 million over 7 seasons. Hughes finished with 7 goals and 44 points in 71 games last season. And the Colorado Avalanche confirming that Eric Johnson has retired from the NHL after 17 seasons. Major League Baseball playoffs rolling on. Padres just wrapping up their game against the Cubs, winning 3-0. That series tied at 1 apiece. As is the Guardians-Tigers series, as the Tigers fell to the Guardians 6-1. Coming up shortly, got the Yankees and the Red Sox from the Bronx. Boston up 1-0 in that series. Then at 7 o'clock, the Dodgers look to wrap up their series against the Reds from Los Angeles. In the NFL, bad news for the Niners, as they'll be without quarterback Brock Purdy tomorrow night when they take on the Rams, as he has suffered a toe injury. Coming up in hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll talk to Steve Gardner of USA Today as we look around the majors and ask 5 questions. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Another season is upon us. The smell of locker rooms, hockey bags, pumpkin spice lattes, and burnt oil.
Uh-oh. Don't let your vehicle get benched this season. Swing by Napa Auto Parts for top quality oils, parts, tools, and everything you need to keep your ride in winning shape for the games ahead. With over 85 locations in Alberta, visit your local Napa store today or online at napacanada.com. That's Napa know-how.
When you have lifting and material handling needs, Northwest Crane
Just after 3 o'clock, welcome back,
Sandy deal, backed by the industry's toughest one. 3 years, 3,000 hours, no compromises. They service all crane makes and models with skilled technicians and deep
She might get a
industry
hold of
expertise. Alberta owned with locations in Leduc and Grand Prairie and fully equipped service trucks. Northwest Crane keeps your operation listed. For more information on sales or service, visit northwestcrane.com or call today.
Wondering what you can afford? Let Go Auto do the math with our free car loan calculator. No pressure, no awkward convos, just quick answers on your budget and payments. Bad credit, no credit? We got you. Text CHECK to 780-777-7777. That's CHECK to 780 all 7. Find out what you qualify for and start shopping with confidence. Go Auto. Drive what you love with payments that make sense.
Edmonton's go-to station for all things sports is Sports 1440.
From Low Tide to Kevin Carrius and Jason Gregor, we deliver the latest on your favorite teams.
Tune in 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
To Sports 1440.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is the #1 heating and cooling company for people who want heating and cooling, because you'll save a bundle by bundling. Then you can use hot, cold, hot, cold. Come on, thermostat, do what you're told. Turn up the heat, turn up the cold till the vents start pushing out tornadoes. Bundle my furnace with some AC. Gonna get a new from Legacy. Oh, yeah. Save a bundle when you bundle your new furnace and AC from Legacy today. Plus no payments and no interest for 1 year. That's how you build your legacy. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. Since 2016, we've been at the forefront of hydraulic torque wrenches in Canada. I'm delighted to share our latest venture, in-house production for quicker turnaround, superior quality, and heightened versatility. Experience excellence at cantork.com.
Welcome to McDonald's. Can I take your order?
Yeah, can I get a...
Yes. A common reaction from a veggie lover. Always scanning, searching, longing. But wait, what is this we see? The new McVeggie. Now at McDonald's.
At Fountain Tire, get up to 25% off select tires, up to $125 off a set of 4 select Goodyear tires, and $50 off $150 service until October 18th. Restrictions apply. Book today. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio, from weekend warriors to professional athletes, kids playing soccer to grandparents in the garden, rotator cuff tears and tendinitis to post-surgical knees and hips. We fix your body. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Oh, classic, man. You know what? In 2025, you'd think people, it's sometimes you gotta know your environment. I think it's something, if there was anything to teach your children, is you got to be aware of your environment, how you act, what you say at certain times can be different and is going to be received infinitely different in certain spots. Right? You're with your close group of friends, right? Somebody, you probably can say something maybe a little offside because you know everybody has a good sense of humor. You probably don't put it on your social media page because lots of people will get offended, right? Certain things like that. Then you've got Ben McDonald. So ESPN is, of course, covering Major League Baseball playoffs right now, the Cubbies and the Padres. Pretty exciting game. Padres 2 for 2 today. The team who lost game 1 has now forced a game 3. So now we know we have 2 game 3s at least tomorrow. Hey, I know it's not game 7, but it's an elimination game tomorrow. Who wouldn't want to see 4 of them? So we'll see. But anyway, Ben McDonald. So ESPN, they put up on their, as they're showing the game, Connor, they put up on the side screen, hey, guess what? Opening night of the NHL, ESPN's covering it. Okay? This guy's on ESPN. I just want to repeat this. Opening night coverage. Blackhawks, Panthers are talking about it. And he goes, there's zero chance I'll be watching. I'm just going to be honest with you. Like, what an idiot. Like, geez. Hey, you know, buddy, like, are you that insecure that you need to get in with the baseball group? Hey, you know what? The hockey sucks, man. Like, I'm a baseball guy. That's all I'm going to watch. No one's asking you to watch, but it's a partner. Like, what an absolute donkey to say something like that. Now, hey, free, he's entitled to it. Like, because I think people forget, well, freedom of speech. Yeah, he's free to say whatever he wants. Doesn't mean he's free from consequences. It doesn't mean he's free to get ripped on by others. And trust me, they're all over it already. Like, I just, you know what? Hey, if there's things, our station, hey, a certain show, am I going to say, oh, that show's terrible? No. You don't have to say something all the time. But that is, that's just amazing. Like, you just see certain things like NFL cons, you watch it. And this is where the NHL, I still believe, has kind of failed the viewer in Canada by having all of the games on one broadcaster. I don't think it helps. I think having different analysts and different things is good. Look at the NFL, super popular. You got it on NBC, you got it on ABC, right? You got it on CBS, you got it on whatever it is now. Is it Apple? I don't even know where. Fox,
Amazon,
They got
YouTube,
basically everywhere, right?
Yeah.
But if you're on CBS and the late game's on, they still tell you where it's at, right? Because they're like, we're all partners of the league. And I'm just like, I'm very curious to see how that one goes. Now, I'm not saying I don't need to overreact and have the guy be fired. Like, I hate that. All right. I can't stand that you want to fire someone because of one thing they say. It is beyond gutless and childish. And don't even text in and say, oh, the left does it. No, you have people on both sides who whine about wanting someone to get fired because they said something that I disagreed with. It was very offensive to me. Well, sure, it might have been. That doesn't mean you fire them over one mistake, right? But that doesn't mean that you can't rip on them because there's some consequences to it. You want to constantly take that clip and replay it all the time till infinity? No problem. You got to own what you say. I have no issue with that. But you need to fire. Now, there's certain things that are more fireable offenses than others. Saying I'll never watch, I'm not going to watch that game. I wouldn't fire the guy over it. I would ask him, like, help me understand why you thought that was something you should say. And I'd love to know his answer. Help me understand why you thought in that moment on our broadcast that you, on our own channel that's covering it, you felt the need. Are you that insecure about your sport? You have to be like, well, I'm not going to watch it because I got to watch baseball. Like, what? It's just cross promotion. That's all it is. So I just found it just a dummy. I'm not going to fire the guy. So stop. I haven't seen anybody call for that, but he's going to get ripped on as he should. Hey, Gregor, you think Edmonton without McDavid is better than the New York Rangers? Okay, from Hacksaw. Because Hacksaw was like, I think the longer Panarin goes onside. So Hacksaw, tell me the New York Rangers. Tell me their forwards after Panarin. Because now Panarin's gone, is what you're telling me. So tell me how their forwards are infinitely better than the current forward group. Who's close to Draisaitl on their team? Can you tell me? Like, what are we talking about here? They got a better goalie. That's it. Lots of teams have better goalies. Do they get to the Stanley Cup final? You think the New York Rangers have better 1 through 5 defense than the Edmonton Oilers? Go compare it, man. But honestly, tell me the forwards in New York, because now that Panarin's gone, and this is your scenario, not mine. This is your scenario. So tell me how the New York Ranger forward group, without Panarin being the number 2 supporting guy, is better than the Oilers, right? Because guess what? You're going to go Mika freaking Zibanejad. That's their next high scoring forward. Vincent Trocheck. Look at the age of these guys. Why the hell would Connor McDavid go to the New York Rangers? So Panarin's gone because they're not going to sign both of them, right? You got Mika Zibanejad, who's going to be what, 33 next year? And then you got Vincent Trocheck, who's going to be what, 33 or 4? Right? Alexis Lafreniere, yeah, good player. Is Zibanejad better than Hyman? Honestly, I think he's better than Hyman. So no, I don't. Like, I guess you got JT Miller. Okay. I like JT, but JT ain't Leon Draisaitl. So if Draisaitl's better than JT Miller, I'm not sold Zibanejad's better than Hyman. So how are they better? I don't get it. Right? Like, that's why when you go to teams, you got to look realistically at their whole team. Then look at the Rangers defense core now. They got rid of Keandre Miller, which is, I'm still a little perplexed by that decision, to be honest. I'm curious how it's going to work for the Rangers on the blue line. But look at their blue line. So they got Adam Fox, Gavrikov, Will Borgen, Carson Soucy, and Braden Schneider. Those are their top 5. You're going to compare those 5 to Bouchard, Ekholm, Wallman, Nurse, Kulak, and you're going to tell me that they're better? Come on, Hacksaw. I know you're better than that, and I know you're smarter than that. So, just a bad take. You're a loud one, but that was a bad one. Bad one. Gregor, the Rangers owner alone is the reason not to go there from Walter. It's actually a pretty good point, Walter. It's a pretty good point. Welcome back to the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. We do have the Yankees and the Red Sox getting going right away. And Con's like, if I'm a diehard Toronto fan, I think I'd rather play Boston. Doesn't mean I'll win, but here's why I would avoid New York. Because what's the thing the Yankees do best? They hit home runs. What's the one weakness of the Jays pitchers? They give up a lot of home runs. I think it's like they'll be pitching great, and then just one bad one, teams make you pay. I don't want to be pitching against a team that has that much power as the Yankees. Not saying they can't beat them, but I think it'd be a tougher matchup.
Oh, I'm totally with you. And that's it, right? Like, we've seen Gausman look really good. We've seen him give up dingers. A lineup that can throw out Aaron Judge, Grisham at 34 this year, Jazz Chisholm, Bellinger, Giancarlo Stanton, although battled some injuries, still hit 24 home runs. Like, they've got players on that roster that can make you pay. And like you said, that's game changing. It's not the Mariners a couple of years ago, death by 1,000 cuts, where it's just kind of small ball. This is one swing of the bat, and all of a sudden the outlook on the game is totally different. So I'm with you. I will say, as a longtime Jays supporter, I'm happy to see one of these teams go. I'd love to see it go 3 games and see one other fan base really upset about losing. But if I had to pick one, pinstripes all the way. See ya.
Oh, yeah.
But it is nice. It is nice to see these two teams. Well, it's not beating up on each other physically, maybe, but eliminate the other. Pretty nice.
I really hope, though, that the Yankees win today, because I want to see a game 3. Just, as a impartial observer, I don't really like or dislike one team way more than the other. So that's why I'd be I'm interested to just I like when you've got a bunch of games and they're all elimination games. Now, I think since he's going to be in tough tonight to beat the Dodgers for sure. I'd love to see it happen. Like, I don't really love the Dodgers, to be honest. Like, the Dodgers now, they just spend way more than everybody else. Like, I don't think it's a great accomplishment to win when you're spending not infinitely, but significantly more money than all the other teams. I'm not a big fan. Like, oh, look at what a great job we did just by paying guys way more money than everybody else. Now, some would say that other teams got to fall in their footsteps because their owner, they're clearly still making big money. And he's like, I don't care. I'm taking, I'm going to pay back. I'm getting this much in revenue. Well, I'm going to pay more of it out in contracts because I got a lot of money and I don't really care. And clearly it works because they're ultra competitive. And their fans, like, if you're a fan of that team, I get why you like it. I totally get it, because you're like, hey, my job is to be a fan and cheer for my team. I don't care if we're doing things that other teams don't do. It's not cheating. You're allowed to do it. It's not illegal. It's not steroids. Right? It's not morally incorrupt. They're just saying, hey, we're going to spend more than anybody else. And they're pretty good at it. Hey, Gregs, do you think Howard and Savoy realistically could be full-time top 6 players all year long in Edmonton from Stewart? Realistically, Stuart, no. It is. I'm trying to think the last team who had 2 rookies, and when I say like a top 8 team in the NHL who had 2 rookies full time in their top 6. You can have 1 every now and then, but 2, man, I have to go back and look. Nothing jumps out for me. Like I know Carolina had 2, but is Jackson Blake a top 6 forward? It's Vancouver when they came over in trade, so they played in the playoffs last year. Like even if you just look at playoff performances from rookies and the amount of games they play, there's not many teams even have 2 rookies, never mind 2 rookies in the top 6. So I'm going to say realistically, no, I don't see that. We'll come back. We will talk about something we'd never seen before until today, which is always entertaining on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Whoa, who turned off all the lights?
Experience the new charcoal menu at Booster Juice.
Charcoal menu?
Introducing the Eclipse Smoothie, Blackout Booster Mixer, and Midnight Booster Ball.
Where's that voice coming from?
Dark and delicious, made with activated charcoal.
Can we please turn the lights back on?
Sorry, I'm just excited about the new charcoal menu.
Wow, that is good.
Right?
Available now, only at Booster Juice.
Listen up, because you're not going to want to miss this. Right now is your chance to get in on Play Alberta's biggest offer ever. For a limited time only, new players can get up to a $1,000 casino bonus when they sign up. There's never been a better time to join the fun. Visit playalberta.ca today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is sounding the call. Don't struggle through winter with a furnace you can't trust. For maintenance before winter strikes, call Legacy. Call Legacy. For furnace tune-ups and repairs to give peace of mind. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. Or to scrap your old furnace for a brand new high-efficiency one. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. And with no payments, no interest for 1 year on your new furnace, it's gotta be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
When it comes to choosing a hair clinic, the difference is in the doctor.
I'm Dr. Van Elliott. Transforming how you feel about yourself is a very personal experience, and I'll work directly with you every step of the way.
Physicians come from all over the world to learn from Dr. Elliott.
When your personal goal is to help other people achieve theirs, you must deeply understand the latest treatments.
Want to feel confident and comfortable? The difference is in the doctor.
I'm Dr. Van Elliott at drvanselliott.com.
Imagine a family get-together where the smiles are as genuine as the conversations. That's the feeling you get at Nisku Ford, a family-owned dealership where finding a new Ford feels just like catching up with old friends. Here, you can take your time, explore the latest Fords, and enjoy the no-pressure atmosphere. It's not just about cars. It's about family, comfort, and trust. The coffee's on, so drive into Nisku Ford or visit niskuford.ca today. Above expectations.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. The Oilers are back in action, and OTR is ready to be your hockey headquarters. $5.75 Molson Canadian and 69-cent wings. Plus, you can play, score, and win every game. See more at ontherocks.yeg.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$424. How are you? Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Every now and then, Cons, blind squirrel finds an acorn. What were we talking about before the break? Why I'd be leery if I was the Jays. I'd rather take on the Bo Sox, because what's the thing the Yankees have? They got a lot of home run power. And what happens? Ben Rice, who they didn't even play in game one. I'd love to know their reasoning on that one. I'm sorry. But Ben Rice, first pitch he sees, gone, 2-run shot. And the Yankees have an early 2-0 lead heading into the top of 2nd. As we get to our MLB playoff report, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. They are hiring. Want to work for a great company that has a hiring bonus, RRSP matching, tuition reimbursement. Apply today, legacyheating.ca. As Steve Gardner from USA Today, MLB writer, joins us. And Steve, prior to today, teams who lost game 1 didn't fare very well in the wild card series. They were 2-10 in the series, but 2-0 today. The Yankees are off to a good start. And I had mentioned it earlier. If I was the Blue Jays, and you're not going to come out and say it, but if I was them, neither opponent's going to be easy. But for them, their weakness is giving up home runs, and the Yankees hit a ton of home runs. I'd rather play Boston if I was Toronto. What about you?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, right now, the Blue Jays certainly are in a pretty good position because Boston and the Yankees, they're going to expend as much effort as possible to knock the other off, and just to sit there and watch and hope you get 3 games of really intense baseball. You'll take whichever one comes out of there. But yeah, in terms of the matchups, I think the Jays do match up a little bit better with the Red Sox as well.
Yeah, I would agree. The first 2 days of playoff baseball, man, they've been intriguing. They've been a lot of fun, a lot of pitching matchups and like some unreal performances. Mason Mason Miller for San Diego. Yeah. Like, oh my goodness. See, like that guy, is there a better, more dominant reliever right now? Like he was literally unhittable today, and he threw the fastest pitch ever tracked at 104.5, at least since 2008, since they started tracking that speed. Like that was unreal performance today.
Yeah, the Padres have built this Frankenstein of a bullpen with, bringing Mason Miller in at the trade deadline when I think a lot of baseball observers were wondering, hey, you've got the best closer in baseball in Robert Suarez. Why do you need, this guy? Well, it's the postseason, and you need all of those arms. I mean, the relief core and the bullpen arms are so important in the postseason, and especially swing and miss stuff. That's what plays up when the game is on the line, and the Padres have a ton of that, and Mason Miller probably the best example. I just, some of those pitches, you just shake your head because nobody's going to be able to hit that, and they can just deploy him, especially as we get into the later rounds of the playoffs. If the Padres advance, and you've got off days where the bullpen can recharge a little bit, that's just going to be frightening.
Yeah, well, man, like that 104-mile-an-hour pitch, like it's almost like it disappeared on the screen. You're watching, I'm like, oh my god, like it, like 100 is fast, but you add that extra mile an hour, it makes a big difference. Especially as a batter, I couldn't imagine. I don't know how guys hit 100 miles an hour. Never mind 104. It's kind of crazy. Yeah. You wonder like where it's going to go in 10 years. We're going to see like 110-mile-an-hour pitch.
And not to mention, all the movement.
Yeah.
Some of these sweepers and curveballs and splitters. It's nuts. Pitchers are wizards, and I can't fathom to actually hit some of those pitches that they throw.
Looking at that Cleveland-Detroit game, like it's really remarkable that Cleveland found a way to win because Detroit just kept getting chance after chance after chance, and they couldn't put them away.
Yeah, what was it, 1 for 15 that the Tigers were with runners in scoring position, and the Guardians maybe had 3 at bats. They're 2 for 3 with runners in scoring position. It's just, that's one of the great things about the postseason is you just never know what is going to happen. The flukes that get papered over and you forget about during the regular season. Because everything is so intense and the spotlight is so bright. Those moments are what make playoff moments, make playoff heroes. And, Brian Rocchio is one of those guys now for that huge home run that put them ahead. And the Tigers have to be kicking themselves because they had every opportunity in the world to be able to knock off Cleveland, send them home and put that collapse in the second half, in the rear view. Now, I think the pressure is squarely on the Tigers to come out there and win again in Cleveland tomorrow.
Well, what's the thing that's really impressive about Cleveland, really, in the whole month of September, man, like they'd given up half as many runs as even the second closest team. Like their pitching's been remarkable in their ability to stifle the offense of the opposition.
Absolutely. It's ridiculous how much better they were. And, frankly, they had to be that much better than everybody to come back from 15 and a half games behind and win that division. So remarkable. The thing is, it doesn't matter. Once you get into the playoffs, it doesn't matter what you did all season long. It's how you're playing right now. And really, the Guardians are playing as well as anybody in the majors. So it would not shock me at all if they go through the playoffs and have a shot at the World Series.
Yeah, for sure. You look at those teams that have the bye, the 4 teams that have the bye. Obviously, they're all really, the Phillies are good, the Brewers are good, the Blue Jays are good. There's no question about it. They had a little bit of a dip, but then they won when they had to get in. If you look at potential matchups, because we do know that Toronto's automatically playing Boston, New York. So that leads me to a question. Would you want them to just go with a peer who's ever the number 1 seed automatically gets the lowest seed? So if Detroit happened to win, then they would be facing Toronto, not automatically 4 or 5. Do you think that will ever come to baseball?
I think it might, just because we see a lot of instances. I mean, you were looking at the end of the American League's playoff picture, where the Red Sox, if they had the last 2 games of the season, I think if they had lost out and the Guardians had won, there was a way that Boston could get the number 6 seed by losing on purpose or by not playing all their best players and get a better matchup, not play the Yankees, but maybe play the Guardians in the first round. I think when you have maybe a third division winner who's not as good as the wild card, the wild cards over the course of the season, that having that third division winner, getting, I think playing that third division winner might be an advantage. So reseeding after the first round, I think that might be something that baseball looks into, just because it can be perceived as unfair, just the way that the matchups are, and the advantage or the privilege that you get for finishing higher in the standings is not as great if your opponent is better than the other guys who didn't finish as well are playing.
Yeah, I'm just kind of curious, what was their reason why they wanted it like the preset format? Like, does it really matter if they don't find out until Thursday? Because we know who the home team is regardless. Right, exactly.
I don't know. I think this may be one of those things where that's the way, baseball has done it, and reseeding is not something that they're comfortable with, whether it's tradition or what. But it makes a lot more sense, and it seems like it would be fairer to the teams that finish with the best record.
Steve Gardner joins us talking MLB playoffs. If the Reds are going to win, how can they do it tonight?
I think it's going to have to be a way keeping Shohei Ohtani off the bases. Number one, I think to get solid, you got to have solid pitching to start, and to do that, you've got to keep the top of the Dodgers order off the bases and limit the damage. And it's certainly easier said than done. But as you get further down that lineup, you get into the Andy Pajes and the Kike Hernandez. The bottom of that Dodgers lineup is not really as strong as maybe even some of the other teams that have made the playoffs. So you try and limit the damage up top. Maybe you do your bullpen. You throw your high leverage guys in there early, bring them in early. It's one of those games where certainly you're down 1-0. You've got to put all the cards on the table. Everybody's got to play, got to be available. And maybe you go a lot more to your bullpen quicker. Something like that. Play the matchups starting in the 5th inning rather than 6th or 7th. I think certainly you've got to manage. Terry Francona has plenty of experience doing that, but manage like the season is on the line, because it certainly is. And one loss and you're done for the year.
Steve, do you think the Blue Jays, because Bo Bichette, Guerrero kind of hinted at it today, he's not going to play in the opening, the Toronto's opening round. Can the Blue Jays win if Guerrero's playing like he has down the stretch, right? Like you got Bo Bichette, their best hitter, out, and then Guerrero, like they can't win if he doesn't show up, right? Or do you think their pitching's good enough that they can win 2-1 games?
I don't. I think the Blue Jays have to have the offense going. I mean, George Springer, obviously one of the best players, if not the best player, in the second half of the season, has certainly been the key to the offense, along with Vlad Jr. But yeah, the offense has to be there. I think what you might get with the Blue Jays, and this is, kind of one of those things that just happens in the playoffs without any warning. If Anthony Santander, can be at least somewhat of a force in that lineup, he makes that offense a lot better if he's performing up to his potential. And I know we didn't see a whole lot of that during the regular season, but that's the kind of thing, the X factor, if you will, that sometimes pops up in the playoffs. The offense has to be the best that it can be, because while the pitching can be good, I don't think you can expect it to be as good as it needs to be to shut down either the Yankees or the Red Sox.
Steve, quickly, of the teams right now, if you had to pick a team that you think is your World Series favorite, who is it and why?
I still think the Dodgers, from a talent standpoint, are better than anybody else, or can be better than anybody else. And the experience, I think that the pitching that they have, they can rely on, they can turn to, not to mention those great hitters that we were talking about earlier. I think from top to bottom, I think the Dodgers, as long as they don't have to depend on the back of the bullpen, I think are the best team in all of baseball. So they would be my chalk pick. If I had to go out on a limb and maybe have a dark horse pick, because I think this whole playoff is so wide open, we could see any number of upsets. I think the Seattle Mariners could be that team in the American League. And I mean, the pitching for them, certainly we've seen those guys. We've seen Kirby. We've seen Logan Gilbert, Brian Wu, if he's able to come back. We've seen those guys just be lights out. The bullpen is very good, maybe close to what San Diego has in terms of the best bullpen of the teams still left. And if the offense can come through, they've got plenty of guys who are capable of doing that. I think Seattle could make this really, really interesting in the playoffs, and having the bye and getting into the second round, playing against teams that have worn out, at least had some work in the first round of the playoffs and had to get all that work to advance. The Mariners could be an interesting team that I'm certainly keeping my eye on.
Lastly, if you're running the Blue Jays, what is your rotation, starting pitchers, games 1, 2, 3?
I'm tempted to say Shane Bieber in game 1.
Yeah.
I would imagine they'll probably still lean on Gossman to go in game 1. Maybe Bieber in 2, and I don't know about game 3. Maybe Scherzer, just because of the playoff experience, and then have him on a really, really short leash, and then make that kind of a bullpen game where you could bring in some lefties. The Jays have a decent number of left-handed pitchers, especially if they're going to face the Yankees. I think that's a key. We saw what Boston did with Garrett Crochet and Aroldis Chapman, just kind of neutralized all of those Yankee left-handed hitters.
Yeah.
I think that's the path for the Blue Jays if they face the Yankees. So maybe a bullpen game with Scherzer as an opener, and then just go to the lefties and play matchups from there.
Great stuff, man. Always good to catch up with you. Have yourself a great day, and enjoy the playoffs. There's been no shortage of excitement, Steve. Thanks for your time.
Absolutely. Thanks so much.
Steve Gardner from USA Today, national writer for MLB. Oh, man. You think about it, you know what it feels like in the NHL in the playoffs. It comes in and you're so excited. It's just such a different level in the regular season, and that's why we're watching it right now. in MLB, and it's awesome. Just the atmosphere, the electricity, every pitch is now. Obviously, I don't get to watch every pitch because I'm doing the show, but you just see it. You can just sense it. It's awesome. Love it. Quick break. We'll come back. We got 5 questions. Then Spec, Ian Furness. We'll talk some Oilers and Seattle Kraken. They got some injuries, actually. Bad news as Riker Evans is out 6 to 8 weeks, upper body injury. McCann's nicked up. Montour's nicked up. Got a few other guys. Vid's done. I don't think any of them are going to play tonight. So we'll see, though. Seattle, lots of their veteran forwards outside of McCann. And I don't think Chandler Stevens isn't going to play, but we'll find out for sure from Ian. We'll get to all that. And any of those young guys ready to take a step, we'll find out on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
God said, I need somebody to get up before dawn, milk cows, work all day in the fields, milk cows again, eat supper, go to town, and stay all night at a meeting at the school board. So God made a farmer.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. We are so thankful God made a farmer. For the month of September, it is our goal to feed 500 families. With every vehicle sold, we will feed a family of 4. So please help us reach our goal. Visit us online at northgategm.com.
While the players gear up for the new season, make sure you gear up your snack game with Will Hawk Beef Jerky.
Okay, this jumbo bag of beef jerky should last the preseason.
Whoa. Will Hawk has more than just beef jerky. There's smoked sausage and pepperoni products, too.
Well, how about we have jerky for Eastern opponents and pepperoni sticks when we face the Western teams?
Now that sounds like a Will Hockey game plan.
Will Hawk Beef Jerky, because you don't win games with salad. Only available in Leduc.
Did you know the Brick is proudly Canadian-owned and operated? We started right here in Canada over 50 years ago. Now, our 5,000 team members are proud to be your neighbor in more than 200 communities across Canada. And we support all Canadians with a growing selection of quality-made Canadian products and manufacturers. Nobody knows more about furnishing Canadian homes at the guaranteed lowest price than us. The Brick, saving you more.
Visit thebrick.com and use our store locator to find a Brick store near you.
Oodle Noodle origins. In 1864, Francis Oodle took over his dying father's business as a leatherman. He was quite proficient, but his heart was never truly in the trade. After his father's death, Oodle met a cocksure young man named Vladimir Nudel, who was a trailblazer in the popular new art of food boxes. They formed a partnership and aimed to ply their trade in the new world. At Ellis Island, Nudel was renamed David Noodle, and henceforth, the franchise has been known as Oodle Noodle.
Backed by popular demand, Folsom Prison Revisited. The story of one of the greatest concerts in history returns to the Jubilee Auditorium. November 22nd. Step back in time before, during, and after this iconic Johnny Cash performance, featuring Devin Brain from $1 Million Quartet and an all-star band. You'll relive an event that changed the life of Johnny Cash and changed music forever. Tickets at Ticketmaster.ca and at the Jubilee box office. Brought to you by Stars and Stories Live.
And now Action Electrical's testing team is on defense duty. They're the guardians of safety and compliance, a critical part of any lineup.
Precisely. They perform rigorous safety and code compliance testing for commercial operations. Think of them as the referees, ensuring everything is up to standard before disaster strikes.
Their preventative plays are legendary, spotting faults early. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Groceries, mortgage payments, family holidays, a new car. That's what profit shares look like for Vision Credit Union members. Each year, we return about 75% of our profits, $35 million last year, to the people who bank with us. Because at Vision Credit Union, when you're an owner, you get your share. Why not get yours? Learn how at whatsyourshare.ca. That's whatsyourshare.ca.
They're not just a grocery store. They're a butcher, a baker, a cafe, deli, rotisserie pizza, and restaurant, all under one roof. Loca Quality Market does food differently with 2 locations to serve you. Edmonton and Sherwood Park. Visit loca.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Elks Nation, 2 weekly podcasts with Eddie Steele and Declan Kruger breaking down the green and gold. The most in-depth EE football coverage on YouTube and anywhere you get your podcasts.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.445, welcome back, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, as well as Sports 1440 YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, Oilers Nation, YouTube. We love it. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, having us part of your day. Hopefully you're having a good day. Maybe you got off a little early. Maybe you're watching some baseball. I know there are lots of Yankee and Red Sox fans around. Big matchup, big rival matchup. Like, that's a huge rivalry between those two. So you got to think both those cities. Like, if there was a place to be right now, like, you'd want to be at like a bar in Boston or New York, just watching it with diehard fans of both of those teams. Like, you get caught up in it. It'd be a lot of fun. Like, I'm like, if I was in Boston, then I would cheer for the Red Sox. If I was in New York, I'd cheer for the Yankees. I don't care. Like, for that series, make it more fun. Like, I don't really care that much who wins at all. Like, if I had to pick which one I dislike more, I don't know. It's just something about the Yankees. I just don't like them as much. But and honestly, like Chapman as a pitcher, like the guy, ageless wonder, kind of like it. Not necessarily the best dude off the field, but on the field, pretty good. Let's get to 5 questions brought to you by The Brick. The more you buy, the more you save. Up to 30% off furniture, 40% off mattresses. And a portion of each sale right now is going to help the stallery at The Brick and thebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, Jason, question number 1 for you today, crystal ball time. If you had to guess, how many regular season starts do you think Connor Ingram gets for the Oilers this season?
Oh, God. There's so much to unpack in that question. There's so many what ifs. Well, if this happens, that happens. 7.
You're right. It's a loaded question.
Yeah.
Injuries and
Very hard.
so many things could happen.
Like, I have 0. I could have said any number, and none of them I would have had confidence in. Like, I was going to say 0, and then I'm like, nah, it's probably going to be some. So, yeah, I'll say 7.
To get PlayAlberta.ca to throw the odds up there on what it might be. I'll say 12 for no real reason. Just, I think they'd like to get him a look, and hey, maybe he hangs around. Question number 2 for you. Do you think the Kaprizov deal in Minnesota has any impact on McDavid and his new deal, or any of the other players waiting on a new deal as well?
I don't think, well, honestly, I don't think Kaprizov deal does it. Like, I know I see a lot of people, this is going to impact everyone. What are we talking about? It impacts like what? Maybe, like, it doesn't impact McKinnon. It doesn't impact Rantanen. It doesn't impact Draisaitl. So McDavid, I think he's in his league of his own. So who's it really impacting? Right? I don't really buy into that. Like, those guys are already signed, and McDavid's going to get his own contract. And the other thing is like, oh, you know what? Like, this is great for league. I'm like, why? You have a salary cap. There's only so much money you can spend. So if one guy takes more of the money, it just means the rest of the PA is getting less. Like, I think it's mistaken when people say if the top guy makes more money, then everybody else makes more. How does that work? Now, if the salary cap keeps going up, that's what's more influential for guys making more money, because there's more money to make. But if you have 100 million and one guy makes 20, well, now you have 80 for the rest. If you have 100 million, one guy makes 18, well, now you have 82 for the rest. So sometimes I think our society, we're all about bigger's better, bigger's better. If one guy's making more, it's optics, but I don't think it really benefits the PA as a whole. It's the top guys get paid more money. Great. And some people are like, oh, our top guy makes 20 mil, so now our league's more official. I think that's what some people misconstrue it as. but it doesn't really help the PA, and it really doesn't impact 98% of the PA.
Yeah, I mean, I look at it like, would Jack Eichel or Kyle Connor, like if they take that to their team, okay, well,
Kyle Connor isn't.
Yeah, you're not that player. Jack Eichel, maybe closer to it, obviously, but yeah, I don't think it makes too much of a difference. It's a great deal for Kaprizov, and their owner pretty much said as much a couple of weeks ago. Like, he's going to get paid. That's what's going to happen. They have that money to make that move. I think some of the other teams, they do that contract with that much money, and they're hurting themselves, and potentially you could lose some of those other players. So yeah, I don't think it's going to make a huge impact on anyone else, but happy for him to get his payday. Question number 3 for you. If you're an Elks player on the bye week and you're not from Alberta, what would you be doing with a couple days off during the bye week?
Oh, I'd go to the mountains. No question. Get away. It's nice and relaxing. You know what? There's lots to do there. If you've never been there, it's like there's just something about being in the mountains. If for people who haven't been there, it's amazing. So that's where I'd go.
I'm with you. Specifically, I'd be going to Jasper, I think. I like that drive a little bit more.
Really? I love Canmore.
Canmore's great too. Not Banff. I'm staying away from Banff. Too busy in Banff. But I like to drive to Jasper and just take it easy. Get away from it all for a couple of days and enjoy the nature. Question number 4. It is day 2 of the playoffs. The teams currently down or that were down 1-0 in their series, who do you think has the best chance to come back and win?
Well, obviously, I'm going to pick the 2 teams that have already won. Like, I'm just going to play the odds at that point. But
this changed since I wrote the question.
Yeah. I guess I would say, well, Cleveland's got home field advantage, so I'm going to pick them over San Diego, even though I like San Diego's team. And, the Yankees could easily come back and win now, but I'll go with Cleveland.
I'm going to take San Diego. I think they're feeling good. Going to Chicago, get that win. So I'm going to take the Padres as my pick. And if I had power rankings, since we're looking at teams that are still in this question eligible, I don't like the Reds' chances, as I'm sure many people don't. No. Final question for you. Sad news today is activist Jane Goodall passed away at the age of 91, known for her work with chimpanzees for, I believe, like 60 plus years. If you had to change careers and go dedicate your life to working with one animal, what would you pick?
Now, was Jane Goodall, was that the lady that Struds interviewed? Was it? Right? Who's that one big famous lady Struds interviewed remember when he had a short stint there on TV and it was non-sports, and oh my God, it was unbelievable.
It could have been. It could have been.
It might have been her.
We'll find out tomorrow.
We will. I'll have to ask him. God, it was funny. If I had to work with one animal, dedicate my life working with, what would I pick? Well, I worked a lot of my life with cows. I loved it. So it's probably not going to pick that. I guess I would go with a panda bear. They're very lovely. They make you laugh a bit. You see some of the videos at days where, like they're maybe kind of hard to feed, but I guess I would go with a panda bear.
I like that one. I think I would take turtles. They don't move around too quick. It's not going to be too hectic. I think they seem like they'd be fun. Now, granted, if I have to go deep underwater, I'm not going to be too eager to do that. So maybe I'm going knee deep. And if not penguins, or if not turtles, give me penguins. They seem fun. And I think it'd be cool to go to different locations and see them. Go to the Arctic.
Ooh, yeah. The little penguins. Why not?
Yeah.
It was like the penguins. Not Pittsburgh, but the actual penguins. So I could get on board with that. I can get on board with it a lot. So I like it. Coming up, we got Speck, and then Ian Furness will talk lots about the order. Some bubble boys. Despite some illness, despite some injuries, you got some guys here that you're into the final few days to really make a big opportunity. Now, I don't know can you change the coach's mind tonight and Friday? It's a great question. Like, I'd love to get on a lie detector to ask the coach, okay, you're down, you've got these certain guys. Could they really change your opinion, or do you think it's already made up before tonight's game on who they're keeping or not? I know they're going to tell you want to keep an open mind. We all want to, but we all have inherent bias in us, and it's hard to overlook it. It's really hard to do. And so, and then there's obviously some other factors, but to me, that's a big challenge. So you look at a guy like Noah Philp, and he's played really well. but they have a veteran in Curtis Lazar who's got a lot of NHL games experience. You're a team that wants to go to the Stanley Cup final. Now, I know they talk about wanting to bring some young guys in. So there is that there, but then there's the reality of it, right? I talked about it. Like, how many teams have 2 rookies in the playoffs when they win the Stanley Cup? Anybody? Like Pittsburgh, I know, had a really important rookie when they won in 2017 in Jake Gensel. He was a big-time rookie, right? Big-time player for your team. No question. But how many other guys are playing like legit minutes? I think the Penguins, I got to look. I think Scott Wilson-Cons was a rookie with Pittsburgh that season too. I could be wrong. But I thought he was. I gotta quickly look that up now because now I'm the first year. Well, he was a rookie because he had played 24 NHL games the year before, so he still qualified as a rookie. So he'd played he played 2 full seasons and 1 full, So I guess technically he was 1, right? More of a fourth line guy, played 11 minutes a night for them, so not bad. Didn't play in every game, but did play when they won. So I got to include him. But, it's just, my point is it's pretty damn rare, right? Capitals didn't have any when they won in 2019. The Blues, anybody who played, like Barbashev was a rookie, but what did he play? Like 5 games, Cons, if you want to look it up. I think it was 4 or 5. And I don't think they had a point. So it's just Edmonton's goals to win. Now, here's the difference. You can have a rookie. Like, look at Samaskowicz with Florida. He scored 15 goals in a regular season for them this past year, right? But what did he do in the playoffs? He kind of got bounced out of the lineup, which is fine because they wanted to win, and that's what they did. What did he play? Like 4 games, 3 games? So regular season rookies, yes. But do I think the Oilers are going to have 2 rookies on their team come playoff time that are big contributors? I'm going with the odds, and I'm saying no. Doesn't mean they can't learn, but then you get to the playoffs, it's a different beast. Right now, if they don't acquire Brad Marchand, then maybe Samaskowicz plays, but you get Brad Marchand. Total different story. Let's get to the con man and a sports 1440 update brought to you by Loca Quality Market. Your next dinner is ready with Loca Quality Market's gourmet meals. Choose from over 200 chef-prepared meals. Order today, loca.com. Here's Connor Halley.
40 update.
Edmonton Oilers acquired goaltender Connor Ingram from the Utah Mammoth with salary retained for future considerations. Then they signing him to the AHL's Bakersfield Condors. Ingram has a career record of 39, 44, and 15 with a .902 save percentage and 3.14 goals against average. Oilers are in action tonight, taking on the Kraken down in Seattle just after 8 o'clock. You've also got the Ducks and the Sharks. Flames host the Canucks. Golden Knights host the Avs, and the Penguins in Buffalo. The New Jersey Devils and RFA defenseman Luke Hughes agreeing on an extension. 7 years, $63 million. He finished with 7 goals and 44 points in 71 games last season. Meanwhile, the Colorado Avalanche confirming Eric Johnson has retired from the NHL after 17 seasons. Major League Baseball, right now, Yankees and Bo Sox tied at 2 apiece heading into the 4th. Right now, Boston leads that series 1-0. Earlier today, you had the Padres evening up their series with the Cubbies. The Guardians did the same against the Tigers. Later tonight, the Reds will try to do it as well when they take on the Dodgers. First pitch set for 7 o'clock. The Edmonton Oil Kings are in action tonight on the road, taking on the Regina Pats. That'll get going at 7. And from the NFL, 49ers quarterback Brock Purdy has been ruled out for tomorrow night's matchup against the Rams with a toe injury. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we will be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet, plus we'll preview Kraken Oilers with Ian Furness from Seattle. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Is your company drowning in paperwork and administrative tasks? Do you need more data to make better decisions? Nectar.io is your company's all-in-one solution for fleet and materials management, safety, time cards, and GIS-based project management. Now is the time to capture and transform field, site, and shop data into boardroom-level business intelligence, all with one login. Visit nectar.io to book a demo today. Nectar.io, your business made better.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is the #1 heating and cooling company for people who want heating and cooling, because you'll save a bundle by bundling. Then you can use hot, cold, hot, cold. Come on, thermostat, do what you're told. Turn up the heat, turn up the cold to the vent, stop pushing out tornadoes. Bundle my furnace with some AC. Gonna get a new from Legacy. Oh yeah, save a bundle when you bundle your new furnace and AC from Legacy today. Plus no payments and no interest for 1 year. That's how you build your legacy. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Welcome to McDonald's. Can I take your order? Yeah, can I get a...
Yes. A common reaction from a veggie lover. Always scanning, searching, longing. But wait.
What? In
What is this we see?
2025, you think people...
The
plastic,
new
man. You know what?
McVeggie. Now at McDonald's. Another season is upon us. The smell of locker room, hockey bags, pumpkin spice lattes, and burnt oil.
Welcome
Your
back,
vehicle
Jason
get
Gregor.
benched this season. Swing by Napa Auto Parts for top quality oils, parts, tools, and everything you need to keep your ride in winning shape for the games ahead. With over 85 locations in Alberta, visit your local Napa store today or online at napacanada.com. That's Napa know-how.
Imagine a family get-together where the smiles are as genuine as the conversations. That's the feeling you get at Nisku Ford, a family-owned dealership where finding a new Ford feels just like catching up with old friends. Here, you can take your time, explore the latest Fords, and enjoy the no-pressure atmosphere. It's not just about cars. It's about family, comfort, and trust. The coffee's on, so drive into Nisku Ford or visit niskuford.ca today. Above expectations.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Did you know that Japa offers in-house and on-site service? Rain or shine, Japa's service department is here for you. Get a quote now at japamachinery.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.503. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Sports 1440. .ca. And yeah, it's loca.ca. I think I might have said loca.com. Maybe I didn't, but I thought I might have. So loca.ca. Check it out. And you know, and the small little thing, Connor, little things matter in life. They have lots of glass jars for lots of things you buy there. And then I keep them. And now I use on my counter, I have the glass jars. And I find I'm eating the better food more because I see through the jar. Because I'm a guy. And if I can't see it, I'm not eating it. Right? You know how it is. And I think that's very much a guy thing. You open the fridge and sometimes you be, yeah, I can't see it. God, it's embarrassing. But I'm telling you, the glass jars from Loca, I'm telling you guys, it's a game changer. And ladies, if your husband or boyfriend or whatever significant other has what I like to call at times just guy vision, I don't know, it's okay. I own it. It's kind of funny. But I'm telling you, the glass, like I've got a lot of healthier snacks that I have. And now that they're in the glass jar that I can see it, I eat it all the time. It's great. So check it out. It is the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. And ooh, baby, Yankees have the early lead. And the Red Sox tied up, baby. It is 2-2. And suddenly the momentum has switched. And that's what's great about the playoffs, man. The momentum swings. up and down. And you know how it is, a fan. You've ridden it for the last few years in the playoffs. You know how it is. Now, there wasn't a ton of them in those Vegas and Dallas series. You were kind of dominated, but, the LA series was massive. Like, you thought it was over. Heck, the Kings thought it was over. Until Quentin Byfield can get the puck out. Big momentum swing. There's lots of them in sports. And in baseball, top of the inning, you think you're good. Oof. Now they got a chance to score. It makes it awesome. Get into playalberta.ca. Get on. They got in-game action, too. Check it out. So now we get to the spec report brought to you by GS Construction. GS is looking for experienced pipe layers, operators, top men, and superintendents. Check it out at gsconstruction.ca/careers. Check it out now if you're looking for not just a job, but a career. As Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet joins us. Spec, good afternoon. How you doing?
Doing great. Watched a little ball today. Watch a little more tonight.
Watch some all day. Game. It's an unreal day. Unreal. You don't even know who's playing back because it's such a serious preseason game, Spec. You're not allowed the rosters until right before game time because you know what? God forbid if the fans of the opposition knows who's playing in a preseason game.
I think that's where I felt started to fall off the rails with Jay Woodcroft, buddy. Was that last year?
That was the worst.
That last year, he wouldn't tell us who was playing in a goal in a preseason game the next day. We had to wait to see who came to the gates. And I said something I probably shouldn't have said, but are you serious? He didn't like that much. I didn't like it much, and we went downhill from there.
Well, it's true though. It's ridiculous. There's no reason to not do it. You're not gonna ask the coach who his whole roster is. I get it, but hey, it's called a social media team. You could put it out there in your social media post pretty quickly. If I was the Kraken or if I was the Oilers, that's what I'd be doing right away. Yep. Anyway, we do know some guys. We know Calvin Pickett's going to start in goal. There is some illness going around the team right now. So Noah Philp might not play. Didn't skate yesterday, so we won't know for sure. I'm guessing it's preseason. You might not rush him. And that's a guy, Spec. So here's my question. You're Noah Philp. You played pretty well your 4 games. You're actually tied for the Oilers preseason points lead with Draisaitl. Do you think the coach's mind is already made up in the organization on a guy like Noah Philp? Do you think there's anything he could do in the final 2 games to change it if he was on the outside looking in? Or do you think it's pretty much preconceived?
I'd say that they probably I think they think he's going to make the team. There's certain guys. There's a guy that's those guys, Clattenburg and those guys coming up from Baco, just to give them bodies tonight. They could score 10 goals. They're not making a team. Noah Philp, I believe, is making the team off the start. I think he's probably bubble guy with Hyman out. But I think he's going to make the team, and he could only solidify himself. If he wins some faceoffs, he's got to win faceoffs. That's going to be his biggest role. Right shot, shorthanded, start the power shorthanded situation, winning a draw. So I'm going to say to you, Jay, I mean, unless he does something crazy, I don't think he can hurt himself, but I think he can help himself. Is that fair?
Yeah, maybe. I think he could. And so it's disappointing, but then I'm like, geez, it's hard. You just look at numbers and everything else. And I know the Oilers, talk about wanting to get younger. They can't have 4 rookies on the team, Spec. It's just, now maybe you can have for a few games here or there, but it's challenging. I was looking, look at Samaskowicz. Now you can do it in the regular season, but he was a guy who had 15 goals, played top 6 in and out in the regular season, came to the playoffs. They got Brad Marchand. He was out. And so the Oilers, to me, we're probably going to see Howard at times this year. You're probably going to see maybe you'll see Philp, right? Even Tomasic, who's not necessarily a rookie, but he's an NHL newbie, if you want to call it that. I'm just not sure how many of them can actually play come playoff time.
Well, that's playoff time. I mean, let's worry about October. I hear what you're saying. But one of those rookies is gone probably when Zach Hyman comes back. And if those rookies are so good that you just can't get rid of one, then somebody gets moved. It's as simple as that. Or a veteran gets sent down, if that's what happens. But I think, we're talking about Philp, we're talking about Savoy, we're talking about Howard, and we're talking about Tomasic. You're right. Are you going to play all those 4 guys every night all year? No, you're not. Those guys are going to go up and down. Tomasic's never played an 82-game schedule. He's going to have some time where he's in a press box, maybe even the minors. So let's wait and see, man. I'm not talking playoffs with you yet. We haven't even played the first game of the season.
No, I'm not talking, but I'm just looking realistically. Like people get so excited, oh, these guys are going to make a big difference. They might in the regular season at times, great. But I'm just telling you, when the end goal is to win a cup, you're not doing it with that many rookies in the lineup. I don't care who they are. It's just not happening.
No, and the trade deadline, they'll bring in another veteran player, and that'll probably knock another rookie. They'll bring in a winger. That'll knock another rookie out of the picture. So, yeah, I hear you. I don't think you're winning a cup with 4 rookies either.
Yeah. Spec, where do you come out on the Kaprizov contract?
I'm totally fine with the number. In fact, as an 8-year deal, I don't think it's that particularly high. Remember the cap's going up 10 million a year here for the next little while. So, what's 17 million? I mean, the most he could get is 20. He's taken 17. So he's taken, every year it's a smaller percentage of the cap. My point with Minnie is this: he's by far their best player. He's their franchise player. They wanted him for 8 years. They got to pay him for it. So I don't mind that deal one bit. How about you?
I don't have a problem with the contract. I don't understand the notion. And I've heard this all the time. That, he set a new AAV standard. This is great for the Players Association. And I'm like, why? What's great for the Players Association is when the salary cap goes up that you just alluded to. That's what's great for the PA. That impacts the PA way more than Kaprizov because A, there's only a select few of elite players. B, just because one guy gets more, that doesn't help the overall general PA because they're only getting more because the salary cap is going up. That's what's important here. It's not one guy. Like he sets a new trademark. Great. I think it's more for people want to, look, our league's better now because our highest paid guy gets paid X. I'm not really sure that that's truly the case. Maybe it's optically the case. But from a PA as a whole, Kaprizov getting 17 mil and taking up more of the cap percentage overall doesn't help the PA.
No, I hear you. I mean, the PAs, they have several goals, but one of their goals is that every time a huge new player comes up, he sets a new bar. That's been a PA goal forever. And there is pressure on Connor McDavid to be that guy, right? There is pressure towards his agent and towards the player that to do your duty inside that union, he should push the standard up higher. That's what people expect. I'm not telling you he's going to listen to him, but that pressure exists. But there's no question, like a union is built out of everybody, not just the highest paid guy. So yeah, there's no, the rising cap is what everybody loves in that union. The Brett Kulaks of the world at the bottom of the roster who are never making 17 million. They just want the cap to go up, man.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. What are you thinking about Ingram?
Yeah, I was going to get to that right now. You know what? Well, how they went about getting him makes a lot of sense. So, because if you claim him on waivers, now you've got him on your roster. The guy hasn't played in training camp. Right? Like, what are you going to do? Then you're going to just try to send him back to the minors. Somebody else claims him. You lose him anyway. So you gain nothing by that. You weren't going to claim Ingram and then put Pickard in the minors when Ingram hasn't even taken part in training camp. It was never happening. So this way, to me, it's a very low risk proposition. There's no risk here. The only cost is that the ownership will pay $1.15 million for him to try to find his game in the minors. Yeah. That's the only cost. There's no other well, there is one other small cost. Now the Oilers have 7 goalies in the organization spec. They only have spots for 6, right? There's 2 in Edmonton, 2 in Baco, 2 in the ECHL. And so where's one of those 3 young guys, Day, Unger, and Johnson? One of them is going to get squeezed out. I'm guessing it's probably going to be Unger just because he's not a draft pick. So we'll see. But, they don't in an ideal world, you don't need Tompkins and Ingram in Bakersfield, right? You need a good number 3, but you don't need like a number 4. If your number 4 should be a young guy. So that's a little bit of the negative in it, if I had to be honest on that. But overall, I like it. It's a low risk bet. If he goes down there and for whatever reason, just can't get his game back, well, okay, no harm, no foul, and you move on. But if he does, now it gives you a better option to look without having to give up anything to make a change.
Yeah, I think these were the only parameters under which Stan Bowman acquires that player. His name came up here a couple of weeks ago and it was just a straight waiver claim. And a lot of people in Edmonton said, grab him, take him, grab him. And I'm eating it online for saying that they shouldn't have done that, and they weren't going to do that. And the context of that interview was, are you going to pick him up for $1.95 million? And they never were, and they did not.
They did not.
Right?
Yes.
They never were, and they did not. This is a whole, when Bill Armstrong comes back and says, okay, I'll tell you what, you're looking for goaltending. Bill Armstrong did Ingram a total solid here, right? By eating, Utah doesn't have to eat that 800,000. They did that so they could move him to a place. Everybody knows Edmonton's in the market. Move him to a place where if everything goes great, he's got a shot at playing. Like, good for Bill Armstrong, good for Stan Bowman. Stan told me today, he said, the minute I found out that they're going to eat the 800 and we could send the entire salary to Bakersfield. Well, that changed the entire calculation here. I thought, why aren't I doing it? Right. Mm-hmm. So anyway, listen, this is putting your hook in the water. This is a guy that's only played 100 NHL games. He had one real good season in Arizona, and it was a good season, right? 907 behind the 27th team in the NHL. He put up a 907. That's good. But there's a lot of water under the bridge since then. So let's hope he can get some version of that back. And if he does, Bowman's going to look like a genius.
Well, it's going to take a while, right? Because he hasn't played in a while. He also hasn't taken part in preseason. So, he'll take some time and he'll figure it out. And then away they go. And I'm kind of curious to see, the number one thing you hope is that he gets just kind of like his life back in order. I think that's the best thing they're looking at.
Yeah, he's really had it's an interesting player, an interesting story. And at this point, it sounds like he's kind of coming out of it. It sounds like he's on the upswing. So it's a happy, we're trending towards a happy ending. Anyone who hasn't seen the story, Emily Benjamin on NHL.com wrote a wonderful piece on him, January of 2024. And, he had OCD, right? And it was taking over his life. COVID, he lived in a little hotel room in Nashville, like so many people did in COVID, and couldn't go out and couldn't do anything. And when you have OCD and you're in that situation, it's not healthy.
No, it's not good. No.
Yeah, he said a lot of people struggled in COVID, but a lot of them probably handled it better than I did, was one of the quotes he said. And to this day, is my understanding, is he still seeks help and sees, he came out of the NHL PA program. And to this day, he still has counseling, and he's apparently doing great. So I love the story. Like, we're trending towards a real happy ending here. And if he can play and be an NHL goalie and walk in here and help this team, oh my goodness, be one of the great stories of all time. He was a Masterton winner, and that's, the guys that win the Masterton usually been through something, right?
Oh yes, without question. So you know what? It's a story now that I think Oiler fans, you'll root for the human. It could. Everybody loves a little bit of an underdog story, a bounce back story for sure.
Yeah.
And hey, it goes into a position where Edmonton's looking to, because the thing about the goalie position spec is anybody whose job it is to accurately predict goaltenders. If you can do it, you're a genius, because it is incredibly hard. Like, you can get the Vasilevskis and other guys, and because look at Connor Halley. Connor Halley wins the Vezina. He wins the Hart, which he shouldn't have, but he still won the Hart. And then he's an absolute train wreck in the playoffs again, right? Like, you can't really rationalize around it, right? Like, people in this town want to run out Stuart Skinner. Stuart Skinner's beaten Jake Ottinger head-to-head in the conference finals 2 years in a row, and it wasn't even close. And they're like, yeah, but he didn't win the cup, so he's terrible. Well, not really, right? Could he made an extra save here or there? Sure, probably, but he's far from terrible. And it's about finding the guy who can get hot at the right time. And really, I think, honestly, if you don't have one of the top guys, and Bobrovsky's one of those guys, if you don't have one of the top 5 guys, I think you're better off to have 2 guys who have the capability of getting hot for a series or 2 series, and you'd have a better chance with that.
Yep. Yeah, that's Bowman said today that his depth in goaltending is better today than it was when he woke up this morning. And really, that's what we're doing here. Is you're to be honest, if Connor Ingram goes to Baco, finds his game, gets it together, starts playing great, he's an improvement on Cal Pickard. That's been the goofy thing about this whole story. Everyone in town's complaining about Stu Skinner. You need someone better than Stu Skinner. The reality is, you're probably, if you're lucky, you're going to find another guy out there who's as good as Stu Skinner. And if you compare Ingram and Skinner, there's not a lot to choose from. Skinner's played a lot more. But what you're doing is you're improving on Calvin Pickard is really what you're doing, because Pickard's the guy. When someone comes up, they're not sending Skinner down, sending Cal Pickard down. So, I don't know where Cal Pickard's the problem, but I get it. Having a second guy who's maybe a starter. Listen, I'm just going to finish on this. The Oilers goaltending hasn't, in the end, been able to be better than the team they're playing in the Stanley Cup final. So Stan Bowman's got to work on it. Whatever he finds for a solution, we'll figure that out. But he can't sit back and say, we've got a good enough goaltending department, because in the end, Sergei Bobrovsky's better than what Edmonton has, and it's cost him 2 Stanley Cups to a large degree.
Part of it, yeah. I think it's
to a large degree
to just say the goaltending.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's part of it.
Yeah, well, sure, it's part of it, but then we could say, hey, we can go down every position. It's part of it, right? Like when you lose in the Stanley Cup final, they got really good teams, and
they do
have to get there, right? Like the goalies, Stuart Skinner, like we can make the big argument in 2024. Stuart Skinner doesn't stand on his head in Game 6 against Dallas. They lose that game because they play like junk except him. They go to Dallas for Game 7, and you might not even make the Stanley Cup final. So
I don't need to repeat the fact that I've been a pretty big Stu Skinner believer, and I'm still here to tell you, you got a 26-year-old goalie who's played 3 years in the league. He's been in 2 cups and was a Calder finalist. Nobody trades that 26-year-old goalie. I don't care what his name is, right? He should be historically about to get even better than he is right now. So I'm not here to tell you Stu Skinner's no good. I'm sticking with him. However, you got to keep working on your goaltending department, and that's what Bowman did today.
Yep. Lastly, Spec, the Oilers in their final few games here. My understanding is Jones is, should be cleared, because you wonder if a guy's like that's banged up, then he can't be sent to the minors if they want to send him to the minors, and that impacts your salary cap. My understanding is they think that, he should be good to go and maybe might even play on Friday. We'll see. But because you can't send a guy down if they're injured, right? Yes. That's what the hope is, but obviously you have to pass the physical and everything to be cleared to get sent down. Do you think all of Howard, Tomasek, and Savoy are all on the opening day roster, and do you think then they'll all be there on November 1st?
Ooh. And Philp? You throwing Philp into this question?
No, but yeah, to make it fun, throw in Philp.
I think those 4 guys will be on the opening day roster. Will they all be there November 1st? I mean, I guess I'll say this. The minute Zach Hyman gets activated, one of them's going down.
Yeah, that's fair. So all 4, eh? Yeah, I like your positivity, Spec. It's not even Friday.
I'm a positive guy. You know that, Jay. It's all my glass is always half full.
Yeah, of liquor.
half full with red.
Yeah, exactly. Spec, enjoy the baseball games, and we will chat with you tomorrow. Also, we're going to have Ian Furness. We'll get the lowdown on the Kraken next.
Yo-ho, sounds good, Jay.
There you go. That's Mark Spector, the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction. Yes, when we return, Ian Furness will join us. Oilers are in Seattle tonight. It's kind of an interesting road trip to wrap up the preseason. They're flying in and out to Seattle tonight, and then they're flying in and out on Vancouver on Friday. They'll have Saturday. I'm guessing Saturday's a day off, and then they'll practice Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and get set for puck drop against the Calgary Flames a week tonight. The NHL regular season begins a week yesterday, so we are getting closer. We'll return to the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Ah, Hawaii. The warmth of a golden sunset as the waves roll in. The freshness of a waterfall. The lush scent of tropical flowers in the air. You don't need to travel to enjoy all Hawaii has to offer. You just need to order pizza. Bring Hawaii home with the Aloha Trio, available for a limited time at Papa John's. Try our classic Hawaiian, Super Hawaiian, or Hawaiian barbecue chicken for just $19.99 each. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, proudly locally owned and operated.
I'm tired of waking up tired. Waking up tired. Yeah, waking up tired.
Are you tired of waking up tired? Come visit our sleep experts at the Brick Mattress Store. Get Canada's guaranteed lowest prices on all things sleep. Plus, try your new mattress for 6 months. If you don't love it, we'll find one you do. Some conditions apply. Stop waking up tired. Get the right mattress, guaranteed. Only at the Brick Mattress Store.
At Leading Edge Physiotherapy, we believe that life shouldn't hurt. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't know that sometimes it really hurts. I mean, we've seen people at their worst moments in life, when they feel they have nowhere to turn, or at a time when they felt like their problem just wouldn't ever go away. We've also seen people who thought to themselves, it'll just go away on its own, or this is no big deal. I don't want to bother anyone about this. Don't know where to turn to, or think it's no big deal? Either way, we have the technology, techniques, and skills to help you get back to it, whatever your it may be. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
At Fountain Tire, we're fluent in saving you money. Fluent? Yes, we've mastered the language of deals. Like right now, you can save up to 25% off select tires and up to $125 off a set of 4 select Goodyear tires. Plus, $50 off $150 service when you buy those tires. All until October 18th.
I'm sorry, I don't speak deals.
Spend less, save more when you buy round black things from us.
Oh, got it.
Restrictions apply. Book your appointment online today. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
Think your credit's not good enough for a new ride? Think again. Go Auto's car loan calculator is here to help. No commitments, no credit hits, just real answers. You tell us a few things, and we'll show you what you can afford. Text credit to 780-777-7777. That's credit to 780 all sevens. Go Auto. We do the math, so you can do the driving.
October 24th and 25th, hit the courts for Feisty Pickles, the first ever 24 hours of continuous pickleball action. Starts Friday night at Brace Athletics in St. Albert. It puts the fun in fundraising for Breathing Space, a groundbreaking lung transplant house. Recruit your team of 4 to 20 players and get your paddles ready to play. Feisty Pickles, Alberta Lung's 24-hour pickleball challenge. Register by October 15th at ablung.ca.
Are you ready? This is Canadian Pro Rodeo Announcer of the Year, Brett Gardner, and I want you to know that at Lamley's right now, you can buy one, get one 50% off select men's shirts, and buy one, get one 50% off all Wrangler retro jeans. Make sure to visit Lamley's at West End, South Park, Spruce Grove, and Fort Sask, or online at lamleys.com. Lamley's Western Wear, the official Western Wear retail partner of the Canadian Finals Rodeo.
LAMMLES.
Yeah, can I get a...
Yes. A common reaction from a veggie lover. Always scanning, searching, longing. But wait, what is this we see? The new McVeggie. Now at McDonald's. Noodle 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 noodle
Throw the load down to Oodle Noodle tonight because dine-in is open.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. What's the best way to beat the tariffs? Buy Canadian. Cantork's products are not only made in Canada, but right here in Edmonton. Save money, support Canada at Cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$5:29, rolling through a lovely sporting Wednesday afternoon. Man, October, we're into the month of October. I think it might be the best sporting month of the year. There is like, if you're a sports fan, you got so much going on. Playoffs, you got new seasons starting, you're in the middle of other seasons. It's awesome. Everything's going on pretty much. You got baseball, you got football, you got basketball, you got the NHL going on, right? You got the WNBA if you're an NBA fan. You got NASCAR finals are getting wrapped up. There's pretty much everything. The Ryder Cup technically, I guess, wasn't in October. That would fill it out, but there's just so much. It's awesome. Love it. Absolutely love it. Of course, all hockey fans love it. NHL starts, WHL starts, AJHL, BCHL. Your kids hockey, which is probably the most fun. I know we had an exhibition game last night. Managed a win. They overcame bad coaching again, so that's good. And had some fun. Kids are all fired up and get back into it. So love it. Love it. It is the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca as we go around the NHL, brought to you by McDonald's, and the McVeggie is here. Vegetables, all different kinds, all together in the meat, and oof, veggie lovers. We even had it in studio on Monday, and I have to say it was a thumbs up from all of us. Now, Connor does say the spicy one is pretty damn spicy, so be leery if you like the spice. You like the spicy McVeggie. As we stop in Seattle, where the Edmonton Oilers are playing their second final preseason game. It is the final preseason game for the Seattle Kraken. So I would think they'll have a lot of their NHL guys, but unfortunately they got a few guys banged up. So we'll find out who's in, who isn't in, coming out with our good buddy from Seattle, Ian Furness, joins us once again from 93.3. Ian, how you doing, man? Welcome back to the show.
I'm good, Jason. How are you, buddy? How are things?
Things are pretty good, man. It's a great time of year. So much going on. I'm sure in Seattle, you guys are waiting. You got playoffs starting on Saturday. So for MLB, that'll be pretty electric. We'll talk about that before we end. But give me an update. So I know Dunn, I don't think, is playing. McCann's not ready. What about Montour and Stevenson? Are all four of those guys out?
Yeah, they're all out tonight. I'm just looking at the lineup. I'm at the rink now, just getting ready for our broadcast next week, I guess, on TV. But Beniers, Eberle, Catton is a line. Wright, Leonard, and Schwartz. Gaudreau, Tolvin, and Marshment. Mulgard, Newman, and Cartier. So, that's probably, what is it? Maybe Winterden won't be here. There's a little battle for the last forward spot with Cartier, Mulgard. So that's kind of a little battle right there. I think Catton's going to be here. So defense is kind of lean tonight. Olavainen's playing, and Mahura's probably in for a while, depending on what the injuries are with some of these guys with Riker Evans. So, yeah, I mean, it's Decord's in goal. So, I mean, it's probably maybe 2/3 of a lineup for Seattle tonight.
Okay. Yeah, well, Riker Evans, they announced that he's out 6 to 8 weeks with an upper body injury.
Yep.
What about McCann, Montour, Stevenson, and Dunn? Are those guys expected to be ready for next week's season opener?
Yeah, I think most of those guys will be ready. Dunn, we're not sure. He got an upper body injury. Took a cross check from Seattle's favorite player, Pospisil, the other night at Calgary. Just an absolute punk, this kid. I mean, honestly, Jason, I don't know how this kid survives in the NHL. Like Adam Larson, you know Adam well. Like he was outspoken about it. Like it's a preseason game. The guy he sent Dunn to the sidelines and the injured list 2 years ago with a really bad hit. Dunn's been looking for him ever since. They had a skirmish in front, and the kid cross-checked Dunn right in the head, knocked him out of the game, I should say. And so we're waiting to see what happens there. I can't wait till December 16th when they come back here. It's going to be ugly. It almost got ugly the other night, but Dunn, I think, is still day-to-day. The only guy that's out long-term that we know is Kaapo Kakko. He's got a broken hand or thumb or something, so he's out for 6. So him and Riker are out for 6 weeks. So, that's those are the two big injuries. McCann skating. Chandler, I think, is close. But boy, I mean, I don't know. I come from the NFL world too. A lot of times, this preseason is just a waste of time. I think. It's just a waste of time. Just an absolute waste of time,
dude. The Oilers are playing 8 preseason. You guys only have 6. This is the last year, buddy. Yeah. The last year. Next year, there's only a maximum of 4.
We got a 4
and a maximum of 2 per veteran. So, God, it'll be like Christmas time in September. The season will start a little bit later.
I looked at the Oilers lineup tonight. It's like, boy.
Hey, tell us what it is, because it's like secret here in Edmonton. They didn't release it.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, so tell us who it is. Oh, yeah. It's ridiculous.
All right, hang on. I hope I don't get in trouble for this.
No,
but,
you won't.
I mean, they gave it to us, right?
Yeah, no, they gave it to you now. It's fine.
Well, I mean, Henrique, Savoy, Mangiapane, Frederick, Kapanen, Janmark, Lazar, Hudson, Szymanski. I don't know who 57 is. How do you pronounce his name?
Mahara? Mahara. Yeah, the young guy. Yeah.
Yeah, he's with Hamlin and Klettenberg.
Yeah, Klettenberg. You know what, buddy? Sorry. That guy, he plays an honest game. He won't cheap shot guys, but he'll fire guys up. But he's an honest pest. But he doesn't cheap shot guys. But he'll probably fight someone. He's an old school. He's kind of like a WHL player. I'd say that.
I don't know who he's going to fight in this lineup. The Seattle has. But, anyway, I'm trying to think. Nurse, Stetcher, they're not together, but I'm just looking at normal, regular guys. Kulak's playing.
Okay.
Yeah, Pickard's starting in goal. So, we're out here.
We knew none of the big guys were going for sure. I think Edmonton will have more of their roster going on Friday night in Vancouver. They got a little illness, so they kept some guys back home because of that. Yeah. How much pressure do you think there is on the Kraken? And here's the thing. And I know you covered the WHL for a long time. You know a lot of the prospects. Gavin McKenna. Like, I believe if there's one organization that could really use Gavin McKenna, I think it's Seattle. They got some young guys. I like Wright. You got Beniers. Neiman's come in and played really well. But like Gavin McKenna is like a legit guy who I think is going to be a first line player in the NHL. I'm not going to use the G word because I think it's ridiculous to put that much pressure on a young kid. But when I look at Seattle, they don't they're in purgatory right now. They're not good enough to be a real contender. And, unless they get some injuries, they're probably not bad enough to be a bottom 5 team. So where do they come out?
Right. Well, I think that's the hard thing, Jason, is that the way they've built this thing, it's, when they went to the playoffs 3 years ago is, this whole depth lineup thing that they used and it worked, but you had a bunch of guys that had, I think what you had that year, not career years, you had a bunch of guys that played up to what you would expect. Like if you say, hey, this guy's going to be a 22 goal scorer. He scored 22 or 23 that year. If this guy's going to be a 60-point guy, that's what he was. And everyone kind of played to the level that was expected. And they also had this historic shooting percentage that year, right? So everything seemed to be going in the net. And so those things helped. And they got decent goaltending most of the year from Gruby, and Martin Jones was a good backup for them. And so they got into the playoffs. They also were a really good defensive team. And then the last 2 years, the structure was off. Haxall gets fired. Bilesma was just a horror show in terms of, structure, especially the defensive end. The power play was awful and they fell apart. But I think you're right. I think you're kind of in that weird middle class right now where, in this division, you're probably, 4, 5, 6 is where you are. At best 4, at worst probably 6, unless you have a bunch of injuries. And so, that's maybe you can contend for a playoff spot. Maybe you're in it, after the Olympic break. I think that's the hope. And I could make a strong argument that they'll be in it till the end and maybe even a playoff team, but they got to have a lot of things go right for them, like more so than other teams. And, it starts with the backup goaltender. I mean, I think you and I talked before. I mean, Philip Grubauer last season, he had 23 starts, 56 potential points. He had 12 points out of those. They got 12 points out of his 23 starts last year, Jason. Yeah. Wow. You don't have a chance. I mean, if Joey didn't play, you didn't have a chance. I mean, you guys think you had goaltending issues, and you do in the playoffs. We know that, but that was an issue. The power play was abysmal. The defensive structure was non-existent. Players were frustrated. That's why they made a coaching change. I think you could make an argument with even average backup goaltending. If your number 2 goalie is just average, well, you increase your point total by 10. You missed it by 20. Well, is the coaching better? Yeah, it has to be. I think first of all, you have guys that are more dialed into today's game. I use this analogy on my radio show all the time. I've used it on TV here. Mike Holmgren is a Hall of Fame NFL coach. Mike Holmgren couldn't coach in today's National Football League. It's a different game. What you do to prep and prepare and the numbers you use, the analytics, what have you, is different than when Mike coached. Dan Bilesma was a great coach for a couple of years, 15 years ago. That wasn't what he was last year. I think Lambert gives them that. Chris Taylor, the assistant, will help the power play. You can make a lot of arguments, but I think what you said is true. With a few injuries, they're in the McKenna sweepstakes. If they don't get, and they've already had a couple, but if they play to their potential, they're probably going to be out of it. They'll have like a 1% chance to get that number 1 overall pick.
And honestly, I don't think it'll be a bad thing for them to do. But it's hard. I get it because it goes against their nature of competitive people. You don't go in to lose. I totally understand. And you can never ask the players to lose. You can. It's virtually impossible. But tell me about young Neiman. He leads the whole NHL in preseason, 4 goals. He's played 5 games. Obviously, he's played more than others, but still, he's got 4 goals. And I've talked to a lot of people who think, hey, this guy's somebody to watch in Seattle. What do you think of him?
Well, when he came up last year for a brief period of time, he was great. He easily has the best shot on the team among the forwards groups. It's not even close. He's the best finisher.
Okay.
Got a lethal shot. You can't teach that. They told him what he needed to do in the offseason, and he did. He came back. He's every bit of 6'4" and 215. Got himself in shape. He looks great. The skating is the question. He got benched for the final 12 minutes on Monday, I guess it was Monday in the preseason game here against Calgary. He got benched for the final 10 minutes.
What?
Yeah, it was Lane Lambert sending a message. I didn't like the fact there was, wasn't enough compete, wasn't enough net front presence, and he put him on the bench and he sat there, including overtime in the shootout. So a little message sent to him, but he's really he's one of those guys that's got high end ceiling here for them. I think the guy we're excited about, honestly, Jason, is Berkeley Cat.
Oh God, he's a good player.
Chiefs.
Yeah.
And he played on the top line the other night. He's going to play on the top line tonight. He's going to play with Beniers and Eberle. And he's a center in juniors. He's been a center in World Juniors, but they've got him on the wing here because they've got a lot of centers on this team that are veterans. And so they got him playing on the wing. And boy, when they freed him up to play on the wing the other night, he looks fantastic. His skating is above average. His playmaking, his vision, his hockey IQ, all those things that we talk about. He is a really good player. It's interesting because a lot of people are like, are they going to keep him here? There's nothing he can do in the dub. What else is he going to do? He's 19. He can't play in the American League, not until, the rule changes, hopefully next year. But so he's, I'm assuming, going to be here. Scored a goal the other night. If Beniers could have finished, he would have had about 3 assists in that game. He looks every bit the part. I'll be curious if you see the game tonight, what you think of him, because I think this kid's every bit an NHL player. You talk about McKenna. There's been a lot of these kids, McKenna, Celebrini, obviously Bedard, that have come into the league. And, this kid he's got enough weight on him. He's got enough strength. I don't know why there's a question about him being in the NHL. Hell, Vancouver's looking at keeping Braden Coots right now. Yeah. Okay. I like him, and I worked with the T-Birds for a lot of years, so I'm partial to them. Braden Coots isn't in the same category as Berkeley Catton. So watch him tonight. He's a lot of fun to watch.
Oh, he's a really good player. And I'm always cautious. Guys look great in preseason. Then you get to the regular season. Now it's NHL guys. And it is a big, big difference. Right?
And I absolutely know that. I've been around the junior game long enough to know, there's guys that are 18 and 19, and they're probably ready to be in the NHL. If nothing else, it's better for them to be up. I just think, with Berkeley, I think he wasn't number 1 overall, right? He wasn't number 2 overall. So there's this waiting period that you don't have to be a number 1 or number 2 guy to make an impact in the NHL. I think he's going to be here this year. I think you can manage the minutes. I think you can manage him. World Juniors, he'll be gone for 3 or 4 weeks and things like that. But I think he'll be here with this team this year. And I think within a couple of years, people will be talking about this guy around the league.
Ian, always good to catch up with you, buddy. Enjoy the games, and we'll talk to you throughout the season. Quickly, give me your thoughts on the Mariners and Cleveland or Detroit. Any preference?
Well, we've had that conversation a lot here. Real quick, I would say this: both teams, Seattle should handle. Neither team can hit at all, and Seattle's pitching staff is elite. So, I think it should be a relatively quick series in the ALDS, no matter who wins the game tomorrow. They play the best of 3, and they've decided tomorrow. I think the fun thing will be, is it going to be Toronto or is it going to be Boston or New York in the ALCS? If it's Toronto, nice and spicy, huh? All the Canadians rolling into town. I can't wait for that. Let's go.
Should be a lot of fun, man. We appreciate it. We'll talk to you again soon, Ian. Have a great day.
Thanks, Jason. Take care.
There you go. That's Ian Furness joining us from Seattle. Let's take a quick final break. We'll come back, update you on the game, the Yankees and the Red Sox. We'll talk about the Oilers lineup and more on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk, family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is sounding the call. Don't struggle through winter with a furnace you can't trust. For maintenance before winter strikes, call Legacy. Call Legacy. For furnace tune-ups and repairs to give peace of mind. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. Or to scrap your old furnace for a brand new high-efficiency one. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. And with no payments, no interest for 1 year on your new furnace, it's gotta be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
When it comes to choosing a hair clinic, the difference is in the doctor.
I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. Transforming how you feel about yourself is a very personal experience, and I'll work directly with you every step of the way.
Physicians come from all over the world to learn from Dr. Elliott.
When your personal goal is to help other people achieve theirs, you must deeply understand the latest treatments.
Want to feel confident and comfortable? The difference is in the doctor.
I'm Dr. Vance Elliott at drvanceelliott.com.
Albertans celebrate a bounty of beautiful places to visit, boundless adventures to take, all in driving distance. And Sherwood Honda has the fuel-efficient vehicle that helps you go even further and appreciate more. Hybrid CRVs and Civics mean more thanks in your tanks, more great trips to be grateful for. And of course, Sherwood Honda is thankful for the chance to help you get there. It's a beautiful time of year, and it sure would be nice to hit the road with Sherwood Honda.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV, and I know a lot about how RVs work. I post videos on Facebook every week showing the weak points and how failures can occur. But even I don't winterize my own RV.
What are you saying, Rick? You don't think you could do it?
Oh, sure, Bob, I could do it, but I couldn't do it at a professional level. When you expect your RV to survive the harsh northern Alberta winter, this is no place for hobbyists. And I don't service used RVs all day, every day. Instead, I hired people smarter than me to do that sort of work. That's the team that winterizes my trailer, the same team that'll winterize yours.
Your RV service team works 12 months of the year repairing and maintaining used RVs.
That's right, Bob. If you want your RV working right in the spring, the real work happens now, in the fall. Our winterization packages start at just $99, and that includes a full report in writing. No surprises, just the great outdoors waiting for you when the last of the snow melts.
And that's No Bull. NobleRV.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by eWell. Get your power play amped up with eWell, supplying the city of champions and Alberta with quality electrical gear since 1975. eWell.ca is your partner in power.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
We continue on as we wrap things up. Busy Wednesday afternoon, man. If you like baseball, they're going back and forth in the Bronx tonight. 3-3, the Yankees and the Red Sox. If you missed it earlier, San Diego staves off elimination. They win game 2, so they'll have a game 3 tomorrow in Chicago. Also, first game of the day had Cleveland beating Detroit. And that series will now go to a third and deciding game. Tomorrow, the winner of the Detroit-Cleveland will go to Seattle. The winner of the Yankees-Red Sox goes to Detroit. And then you got Milwaukee and the Phillies. Whoever wins out of the Dodgers, they go to Philadelphia. Then whoever wins out of the Cubbies and San Diego is heading off to Milwaukee. And should be good. Now, for all of you fantasy hockey players, if he stays healthy, I'm telling you, Josh Norris has had himself a pretty good preseason in Buffalo. That guy's a skilled player. And that's an organization that is just desperate to have some things go right for them. I'd love to see it, honestly. Like 14 years of suck. Like it makes, like, think about it. You lived the decade of darkness. You thought that was ridiculously bad. 14 years consecutive without the playoffs. Like, and they don't have a McDavid coming. Like you may miss 10, right? And then you got McDavid and you're like, oh, okay, well, we can live with that. I don't mind it. We'll survive. Actually, I think it was 15. They had lost 9, excuse me. And then McDavid's first year was 10. Then they made the playoffs in his second year. That's what it was. Yes. So they didn't get a McDavid after year 9. Very few do. Very few do. Cons, what's your thoughts on the what? Because we didn't touch on it Monday because we didn't have a show. We just kind of let it go and needed to, and I see you're wearing your hat today. But like they lost to the Giants, dude.
Yeah.
Like, so are the Chargers, because they beat 3 teams in their division, like 3 pretty good teams, competitive teams. And then, so like, I know you talked about it briefly that the D-line, the O-line issue in that game, but so what, like they should still find a way though to beat the Giants.
You would think so. Yeah. I mean, when Joe Alt went down, I was in full blown panic mode because they're already at Mackay Becton with a concussion, or Sean Slater was out. And then you had Joe Alt, who, those guys, when they're on their game, I'd say 2 out of the 3 could be pro or all pro. One of them could probably be a Pro Bowl player, all out of the lineup. The New York Giants, I mean, say what you want to say about them. And we'll talk to Strutty about it tomorrow, but that defensive line with Dexter Lawrence, you got Kayvon Thibodeau, Abdul Carter, and Burns. I mean, those are 4 really good quarterback disturbers. They can get to the quarterback and make plays, and they did. And Justin Herbert, the 2 turnovers, gave Jackson Dart and that Giants offensive ball inside the 5. They did 10 points right there, and you lose by 3. So if you can just not turn the football over, punt it away, and force Dart to have to drive the entirety of the field, which he did do once, you probably find a way to win that football game. But no, they're going to be in trouble. I think they get the Commanders this week, and Jaden Daniels is healthy, but I just think it came down to, a couple plays here and there, big turnovers. And I think I said at the end of the show on Monday, we do our Fantasy Frenzy Survivor pool. Midweek, I made a change. I was like, nope, I do not have faith in this Chargers team with their problems on the offensive line to beat the Giants. And kind of thought they'd get a little boost from Jackson Dart. He's a fiery guy. I think the people on that team like him. And they played a good game. So I'm glad I didn't make that Slurpee bit with Strutty, because I think I'm like 0-7 in our history of those.
What?
Yeah.
I still can't believe you didn't do it just because it's like a Slurpee. Like,
well, I don't think he wanted to do it. To be honest with
okay.
You, but,
all right.
Yeah, I think I still owe him from the Johnny Manziel bet. I thought a second team would give him a look.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. It was like, how many more games will Manziel start in the NFL? And the bar was low. It was like 7. I thought another team's definitely going to give him a look. Not the case. And we didn't say CFL games, so I probably still owe Strutty a couple Slurpees.
Yeah, that's a tough one, man. That is a tough one, no doubt. So we got the Yankees and the Red Sox coming down to the wire. And then, of course, the late game tonight has Cincy and the Dodgers. It would be amazing if the Yankees win today. And at a time where in the first 12 teams had only gone 2-10 with the ability to extend it after losing game 1 to a 3-gamer. And we have 2 already today. So we've matched it. Could go over in one day. Imagine if they double it and somehow because let's be honest, I think Cincy beating LA would be the biggest surprise of the day. No question. I'd love to see it just for fun and excitement, but it would seem unlikely. Hey guys, the Oilers have 0 high-end scores. 0. Not sure they could make it very far. We're back to Shirelli days somehow. Perplexed. Come on, man. Dude, I should have read that text before. We're talking about Shirelli days. Give me a head of shit. Hyman scored 50 goals. No high-end goal score. Like, doesn't have to score 50. He can score 30. I have a problem with that. They'll be fine. The Oilers will be just fine. But you're right. They do need to add a scoring winger. I would agree with you on that. Your last line lost your credibility. You were doing good, and then you just into the ditch. Don't compare it to Shirelli. Come on. We all know better. Tomorrow, who knows why? We got at least 2 elimination games, maybe 3, maybe 4. We'll talk about the Oilers who stood out tonight in Seattle. And we will get set for another weekend in the NFL. So have yourselves a wonderful Thursday. We got some special guests joining us on the show tomorrow. A new guest will unveil every Thursday. It's tomorrow. Let's get to the Con Man Sports 1440 update, brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. They're helping feed families. They're continuing in the month of October. For every truck sold, they'll feed a family of 4. Farmers and small business owners get preferred rates right now. Northgate, this truck's for you. Good night.
This is a Sports 1440 update.